Narari arabu Maria. Buckle up. All right, I hope we're live. We're rolling. I've been having a problem with this mic. It's cool. I've got 10 more. Just hook up another one. Because I'm rich. I'm just kidding. I'm not. Oh, we're live. Cool. Totally cool. Well, I did that wrong. Buckle up. You know the deal. All right, we're going to have some fun. Get this cooking. Got 120 people in here. Welcome, everybody. Happy Sunday. What's up, YZTC? How you doing, brother? The truth is stranger than fiction. Yeah, guys, you guys could always, when you call in, you don't have to talk about conspiracy or like Twilight Zone kind of, things that don't make sense. That's just kind of some ideas because I like going down that rabbit hole. I've been trying to work on like new videos, like we've entered the Twilight Zone type of videos, which I'm going to have a lot of fun making. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But I figured, I'd let you guys throw some stuff in there, kind of throw me some ideas, and yeah, I'm looking forward to making those. I'm just kind of, I'm winging it, but I'm trying to make it to where, it's going to be a good time. So anyways. Oh, yeah. I had a lot of people ask me what equipment I use for all this shit, even when I'm filming outside. So I finally put that in the description of this video. So that's all there. Okay. It's all there. There's no links. You're going to have to type it out, but it's all there for you. So yeah, I forgot to do that last week. My bad. All right, let's get through some comments. And if you're new watching, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you want to call in, all you need is a cell phone and you're good. You don't need fancy stuff. Boom, 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 boom. That's going to be fun. All right. Thomas here goes, Jack, I make 6 figures as a software engineer, 117K. Wow, good for you. It's really good money. He goes, your show has been somewhat of the best financial advice I've ever received. That's hilarious. Used to let money flow like water. I'm 30 now. Yeah, just make a fucking budget. I swear to God, that's it. Okay. 100 grand a year. That's like serious shit. If I play my cards right, I'll make that this year, but I'm still living as if I make $5,000 a month because, yeah, I know what it's like to lose it all and live in a fucking Ford Fusion. So, I'm not immune to what's going on here. Like I don't know. I don't mean to be like pessimistic. It's just, I've seen how fast, 50 grand can go and, not cool. Kind of scary actually, how fast that can disappear. Especially if you're living like how I was living. It could go real fucking quick. Hey, you know what? Good times though. This guy goes, Egyptian pyramids, Tesla Tower, government car control. Yo, the car control. I got this coming up in one of these Twilight videos I'm cooking up. But fuck it, we'll say it now. So this girl, I don't know what year this car was, but this video was just posted, and she was 1 week late on her car payment. They shut her car off. I know. Like, she wasn't even kidding. And so I had to look it up, because I've heard about it, but it's true. Apparently, this is a new fucking thing. Yo, sketchy shit with that, man. I don't know how I feel about that. I think I'm just going to be driving older cars. Like my next car that I buy is probably going to be, I don't even know what, like the 2015. I feel like that's even too new. You have like 2010, 2005, something like that. But then again, you got to kind of have money to drive those cars because you're going to have to fix them up. You're going to have to make them good. Maybe I'll just ride a bike, get a Schwinn. Can't shut that off. He goes, I just want to talk to Jack about selling my car. Hit us with the link. All right, let's get this party started. I'm gonna pop that link in there. All right, that stinky link. Just get this party cracking. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you guys calling in, you could bring up whatever topic you want to talk about. But if you got some kooky shit you want to talk about, some Twilight Zone things, or conspiracy-esque, I'm really into it. So I'm kind of into it. But yeah, I would sell my car private. If you have the title, I would sell it. Just put it on Craigslist, eBay. eBay. You could even sell a car on eBay. Probably Craigslist though, honestly. Or even like if you have a yard, a lot of traffic coming by, put it out in the yard for sale on that bitch. People will. I bought a 2003 SLS, no, some kind of Cadillac. I saw it on the side of the road and it was like $2,000. It looked mint condition. The guy took $1,500 and it was a good car. And I ended up getting rid of it. But yeah, $1,500, I was just like, I wasn't looking for it. I just happened to be driving by and I just happened to have $2,000 on me. And I literally pulled over and bought it like right there. I was like, I'll be back later to pick it up. I know, fucked up. But I would sell it I would sell it by yourself though, for sure. That's how I would roll. Because if you go sell it to like one of those CarMax places, they're going to give you, let's say you can get $6,000 for it on the streets, and maybe give you 3,500. Whatever. I don't know. This guy goes, topic should be about how every working American is struggling. Yeah, we talk about that all the time. It's getting out of hand. It really is. And that's why I feel kind of what is it like? Just start a YouTube channel. I actually just care, and I just know that you could make even an extra $500 a month. Just you don't need all this fancy stuff to do it. You could just pull your phone out and just do it right there. You don't have to have all this shit I have. I wish I knew that sooner, to be honest. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that. I'm sure. All right. We got a bunch of people calling in. Who's going to be first? All right. I see you guys all in here. Noodles, you're going to be first. Give me a couple minutes here. I'm going to just scroll through a few more comments, and then we'll really get cooking. Okay. It's going to be a good time. It's going pretty good today, Ronnie. Let me see. This guy goes, ever since 2018, life's been like the Twilight Zone. Yeah, honestly, around 2017, 2018, I've been super uneasy about shit. I guess that was the first time I really went down like conspiracy Twilight Zone shit. It just didn't feel right. I did live in California. I guess everything can feel kind of fucked up when you're living in LA, but now it's just everywhere. So it's bizarre. It really is. So yeah, the good luck buying a house. Praise the Lord. All right, let's get in here. Dude looks like Christian Slater's brother. It's actually my uncle. Yeah. And he hasn't sent me one birthday card in 20 years. El Captain with 10 big ones. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate that. You're always donating. Thank you so much. All right. Let's get in here. Yeah, Noodles, you're going to be up next. And whoever wants to call in, I'm going to put the link in the chat. You just click it, tick it, boom, boom, ski, and you're good. Thanks for the $5 from DH. Goes, can you do a reaction to Jesse Lee Peterson? Is that the older black dude? I think I know who that is. I could be wrong. I mean, just like a picture of him, just like look at him, and I'm kidding. I'm sure we can. I can do that. Maybe I'll pull up some of his clips. Really hope to get to call in. Well, if you want to call in, there's like 3 spaces left right now to call in. So now's your time to click the link. On average Joe. That's a good one. That's nice. Spicoli, classic. All right. And thank you, DH, for the $5. I appreciate that. Dirty Mike and the boys, $2 from downtown. Take a hit, Mike. Make sure you pass it back, though. Last time I passed it, y'all ran with it. I was messed up, man. Okay. I know I'm doing okay over here, but come on now. All right. Yeah, back to the selling the car. Yeah, you definitely sell it private. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Noodles, you're coming in. Let me read this one real fast. Poor people are out of money. The insurance company, taxman, corporations want to make more and more money. Watch out, rich people. They will get their profits, and you are the only ones left. Yeah, that's fucked up to say, but It's kind of true, but that's, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just trying to play it safe. Like I guess I don't live in fear, but I guess like, for instance, I'm going on vacation this month. Well, it's a work thing, but it's still going to cost me money. And then the next month I'm going to another place, and I'm not used to taking this many vacations because I'm really I'm cheap. I'm not cheap. I'm not cheap. I'm frugal. Yeah. And I don't know. I'm going to do it only because it's for what I'm doing here. And it'll probably help me out in the long run. But I'm kind of uneasy about just dropping a bunch of money. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I just have a odd feeling. Like when things are going like perfect in your life, I feel like it's like they're playing a trick on you. It's almost like, yeah, it's too good to be true. So I don't know. Maybe maybe, scared money don't make no money, I guess. But at the same time, I'm just kind of a little iffy. I'm just trying to save everything I make right now because I don't know what's going to happen next year or even this year. All right, I'm going to come back to you. Noodles, you're coming in, brother. Let me mount up, bro, real quick. I'm going to put my Space Invader 7s on right here. All right. Noodles, my boy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks for having me on, Jack.
Absolutely, man. So, how old are you and where are you calling from, brother?
I'm 35. Right now I'm in New York, but I'm actually from Massachusetts.
Oh, very nice, man. So, what's percolating upstairs tonight, man? What's on your mind tonight? I'm gonna spitball
Well,
some stuff.
I've been watching your show, these live streams for the last few weeks, and I noticed that like a lot of people like have things that are really bothering them about life and society and well, let me ask you, would you agree that this is like a cruel world?
Do I agree that it's a cruel world?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
yeah.
think I think it's gotten to the point where like I think everyone has the potential to be greedy. You get what I mean? Or like let power kind of take over any morals. Um I think the best thing I've ever heard was Bob Marley. He said the biggest man was once a baby. So basically, it's kind of like, when I was a small child, whatever fucking rules you were making as a 40-year-old, 50-year-old grown man who could literally kill me by squeezing me, I really had no say in that, you know. So it's kind of like flip it around. So if that most powerful person was a child and all of a sudden I'm the powerful person and I'm just fucking dictating what you're going to grow up to live in, um, I think it's just kind of gotten to the point where it really just it doesn't make any sense anymore. I don't know if everything's cruel, but I will say the cost of everything it kind of feels like bend over and you just kind of get metaphorical lashes on your back on a daily basis. That's kind of how I feel about it. So
Well,
yes,
that's, and I completely agree with you. And I feel like I get the sense that it's kind of a gamble. Like when we bring new people into existence, we're gambling with their lives because, maybe a lot of people do end up enjoying their lives, but, 1 in 3 people will get cancer. 1 in 4, 1 in 5 women will be molested or raped. There's a very high likelihood of getting in a bad car accident or some other terrible fate befalling the people that are brought here. And let's face it, most people have scary deaths. There's very few people that probably die peacefully in their sleep. Most people are going to have a very uncomfortable death unless they have some palliative care, which fortunately a lot of us can get in America and other parts of the world now, like morphine, but that's not generally how a lot of people die. And so what I'm thinking is, since we can't receive consent from someone to be brought into this world, and knowing we're gambling with their life, is it therefore ethical to procreate?
You mean have kids?
Yeah, well, to bring a new life into existence, especially if there's already existing life in need that we could adopt and take care of.
I mean, the only other thing I could kind of say about that is like, I mean, if everything we've been taught is true, right? Like the Great Depression happened at this point, and then all of a sudden by the 50s, everything was super sweet up until the 80s. Then things were kind of good, and then now it's like kind of repeating itself. So, I mean, who's to say that if I have a kid in the next 3 years, that by the time they're 30, maybe shit's going to be the best time to be alive when they're 30, but the whole time I'm raising the kid, maybe it was kind of a little fucking rough and I had to really be careful with the money and do this kind of stuff to, make a living and, kind of like out there shit that you would never think of to just survive. So, I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. It's kind of like, well, things might be shitty for another, who knows how long, or it could get better. But there's always the chance of it like kind of becoming cool again and everything's kind of kumbaya-ish. So
You
I don't know.
agree it's a gamble?
Yeah, it's definitely a gamble. Like for instance, like I want a kid, but at the same time, if I don't have one, then it's gonna suck because I want one. But you never know, because if I bring that kid in, man, it could be I'm not rich. I'm not set for life. Um,
Mhm.
so therefore they're not going to be set for life. But I guess you could have like a less risky chance, I guess. Like if you're already kind of set and you know that you're going to be able to leave them a house or you're going to be able to really take care of them. But I think it's always a fucking gamble,
But
man. It's always a gamble.
I experienced something in my life which I don't know how prevalent it is in in society. I think I know other people that experience it, but what it is it's this thing where sometimes I hate life so much that I don't want to be here, but I also am biologically, driven to survive. So I also fear death. Plus, I have the added brainwashing of our Abrahamic
I,
society to fear like hell, which I know seems ridiculous. I don't rationally.
no,
I'm like it's not there, but
it's not. It's not ridiculous at all because I've also like, for instance, I'm institutionalized. Like I'm a city dweller. You feel me? Like I've been on like a hunting trip, I've been camping, I've built shit, I've done things, and it's always like so foreign to me. Um, so what I mean by institutionalized is like I also think like if I were to kill myself, then my belief system growing up is like, well, guess what? You're either going to hell or you're going to start all over and this all repeats again. So I have that in my head too. Like I wouldn't even want to if I had to kill somebody, I would be so reluctant to do it because I've been programmed my whole life that if I killed someone, I'm going to be burning for the eternity.
well,
So I feel you on
it's
that. I
interesting
feel you
you
on that.
say that, like, because I view every birth as a death, right? If we bring someone here, they're ultimately you're dooming them to have to experience death. And like I said, a lot of people aren't going to handle it that well. And seeing as how we don't know what the experience is to be old, decrepit, and dying is, I don't think it's that fair for us to impose it on someone else. One last question I have for you and the viewers is, can you name a both unselfish and ethical reason to procreate? Both unselfish and ethical.
Oh wow, unselfish. Well, I guess I guess the only thing I can really say is like I have a penis and women have a vagina. or sometimes men have women have penises, and sometimes men have vaginas nowadays. So I mean, they just they go in each other, you know, and a kid's supposed to pop out. So I guess just for that reason alone, it's kind of like, well, that's part of this whole deal of being here. It's just now we have the choice to wear a condom or get an abortion or just,
get a vasectomy.
yeah, just have sex for sport.
Yeah.
You know, it's a fucking sport now. You know, it's not even, you know, if you just break it down, it's kind of like if I have sex, that's what's supposed to happen. And I think it's just to keep things moving along. I mean, so, but nowadays, yeah, I mean, to keep the society moving, you're definitely gonna have to have kids. If everybody just stopped having kids, then you know, eventually we're all just gonna be old and fucked. And then you know, I guess
That
you know,
leads to my ethics question, which is then do you think it's ethical to use a human as a means to an end to like put the burden of society on them? You know, because that's not really in the interest of the child themselves. That's the interest of some, you know, what we deem to be valuable or what some people deem to be valuable.
oh man, we're going deep today, baby. I love it. This is oh, we're getting weird.
Jack.
Well, when you say it like that, it's like we're all being used. We're all like, most of us we're already looked at as cattle, you know. So it's kind of, or I don't want to get too down, but like, let's be real here. You know, I got a fucking social security number. I've got, you know, um, I was born in here and like branded in a sense. They didn't actually brand me, but you know, I wouldn't put that past somebody to do that. It's probably been done before. I think Hitler was his name, so I could be tripping. But anyways, man, I appreciate you calling in, man. That was some deep shit.
Thank
dude.
you. Hey, if you get the chance, you can check out. There's 2 channels that I'm a part of. One of them's called Stop Having Kids. We do a lot of outreach, and then the other one is Vegan Equilibrium. And you know, you can check us out on there, and we do outreach, asking these kinds of questions to people in society.
All right, cool, man. I'm gonna give you a check out, dude. I appreciate you calling in, brother. No problem, man. Cheers. Yeah, that went deep. That went deep right there. I was like, oh man, I don't know. I was like, I'm not sure. I go, can I make a joke out of this? Probably not. All right. We got 50 big ones from Skywalker Precious Metals. Thank you, man. I really, seriously, thank you. For real. Thank you very much. All right, who's next? We're going to do Emma Lynn next. Emma, you're going to be next. And Skywalker, thank you so much for the 50 hots. Really appreciate that. This dude goes, I'm RV living right now. Can't afford 2,000 for a low-end studio apartment. Yeah, it's kind of fucking bizarre, dude. It's like, that's fucking trippy shit, dude. I almost moved my dad into an RV like 7 years ago. But then I realized that I would have to be the one driving the RV and taking care of the RV and cleaning the RV and making sure it's all paid for. So I didn't actually do it. But that was a thought at one point in my life. I did go look at them, literally. Like, we were taking RV tours, used RVs too, not the nicest ones. Some of them were cool. All right, Emma Lynn, you're coming on next. Hold on one moment. Yeah, guys, I'm, this person's just found my channel, likes that I'm giving my honest opinion, very natural. Yeah, I you know what? I don't know everything. I'm actually confused by most of the stuff that's going on, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. It's kind of like, what's going on? It's like, literally, that's how I feel about the world right now. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, my boy. What's up, brother? All right. Let's keep this party moving. Emma, you're coming in. All right. Let's read this one last one. DJ, thank you for the $10. Appreciate that. Always follow your gut, Jack, especially with spending large amounts of money. Yeah, I'm cool. It's just sometimes, like $3,000 is $3,000. I don't give a fuck how much money I got. That's still $3,000. Okay. That's 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 like a month of my living with fun, everything. So, to just drop that on a week, on one weekend is a bit steep. Um, you know. So, oh, and DJ, thanks for donating to my friend Mo for that plane ticket, by the way. I saw you did that to PayPal, and we got him an airplane ticket. And I spent more money than I should have. But he's a good kid, and I'm sure one day he'll pay me back. So, what's up, Dustin? How you doing, brother? All right, here we go. We're getting Emma Lynn coming in. Emma, you're live.
Hey,
Oh, Emma, you're back. I remember
I
you from
am.
last time.
I'm back.
All right.
Yeah,
So for the new people watching, how old are you and where are you calling from?
I'm 31. I'm from New Jersey.
All right, all right. So what's percolating upstairs tonight?
Yeah, I like that you're talking about conspiracies. I mean, they do say it is a war against us in every respect of your life. And a lot of people just think about, okay, what's the food I'm eating? What's the quality of water I'm drinking? But I think people don't think about like the clothing that you're wearing. A lot of people are still wearing plastic clothing, and all the microplastics kind of come into your body. Or people don't think about, the even like the psychology part of it, like the media consumption. What am I consuming? Like, what is my mental landscape, and how does that affect my behavior here on out, dependent on what information I'm taking in. So it's not, it's like, it's the food, it's the water, it's the toiletries, it's the clothing, it's the information. It's like attacks from all sides, you know. So I think that's pretty conspiratorial. I mean, a lot of people say that there's this one guy, that Mark Passio, that says that we live in an occultocracy, and so there's this class of people that are not white, they're not rich, they come from all backgrounds and all economic backgrounds, but it's an occultocracy in the sense that they have all this information, like they're intense, dark psychologists that know the human psyche inside and out, whereas we don't know how our own mind works, or how to uplift ourselves in a spiritual sense. We're stuck in this perpetual spiritual childhood.
Well, here's the funniest thing. Like whenever I break stuff down, for instance, I'm a really when I say I'm an open-minded guy, I don't mean like, you know, uh open-minded as in fucking all right, I'm gonna get myself canceled. I'm open-minded in the sense that, you could tell me, hey, there's a possibility we never went to the moon. And I go, sure, I could see that, or you could tell me something and I'm able to, even if I believe, like, let's say you're an atheist, I believe in some kind of God, I'm still able to look at it and go, that's a possibility. That's what I mean by open-mindedness. So like when we see all this shit going down, it's nice to, I'd rather know the truth, but it's hard to know the truth when at one point, let me put it to you this way. At one point, I believed in Santa Claus. Do you get what I mean? I believed that a stork dropped me off at my parents' house. So I say that just to say that I've been lied to on a mass scale by a lot of adults, even if it was for all good and fun, still fucking lied to. So now that I'm older and I see all this stuff going on, I'm just constantly like, well, am I supposed to eat meat or not? Okay, soda's terrible for me. Then why the fuck was I drinking it when I was 10? If McDonald's and alcohol so bad, why is it everywhere? That's kind of where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I mean,
I don't know.
definitely, I'm a vegan. I definitely think that, the animals' lives don't belong to you. And I think it's this like cult of domination, to consume animal flesh. It's like you're dominating, you're expressing your domination over these other sentient beings. There's levels of consciousness, and the Rosicrucians talk about this, about levels of consciousness. And also there's this amazing channeling from the 80s called the raw material, about how there's different densities of consciousness. On the first density is rocks and minerals, on the second are plants and animals, and then we are the third, and the fourth is light beings, and it goes up to number 8. But It's just like, animals have different nervous systems than plants, but at the same time, I understand that not everybody can eat a plant-based diet. Some people are allergic to vegetables, and you
which is
know,
great, which is crazy to think about. You're like allergic to literally a plant, you know.
yeah,
Um,
it is. But you
wh-
also have to be wary now. They're vaccinating the meat,
yeah,
and
this guy literally just commented vaccines and lab grown meat.
yeah, they're because against bird flu specifically,
You know,
I read of several sources that they're vaccinating all the chickens. Maybe with the mRNA, I'm not sure, but so on top of the hormones and the steroids that you're consuming with the meat, you're also getting the vaccines that they're now receiving. And so, if you're eating meat, you really have to be careful about buying, from a local farmer, or do what you can, go to Whole Foods, get organic. But it's so expensive. It's so expensive.
well, here's another problem that I've experienced because I tried going vegan, right? I really tried. Like I still kind of try to keep it mostly whole foods. When I say vegan, I just mean whole foods that aren't animals. That's it. I'm not like walking around like I'll wear a fucking buffalo, you feel me? Like I'll, if the leather's already made, like I'm not that, there's no saving. I don't look at it like, oh, I'm gonna save the planet. It's like it's cool. We'll never beat the planet. It's straight. Mother Nature always wins, in my opinion. But like trying to go vegan, I am so fucking institutionalized. I'm gonna say that word 20 times tonight. So be prepared for that, guys. But I'm so just used to consuming meat, cheese, all that shit, that when you try and go vegan, it's like you really realize how hard and how much meat we rely on
Oh,
and all that. It's really kind of trippy and it's hard to do,
yeah, no,
honestly.
that's completely, you're doing it completely the wrong way. I mean, if you're a carnivore, you don't want to jump straight into veganism. You have to, eat meat once or twice a week, and then, keep your dairy, and then, you slowly wean yourself off because your body is used to what you're feeding it, and it's almost an addiction. You can't just go cold turkey. You're going to send
It
your
is.
body into shock.
It is. It really is an addiction. I'm not
Yeah,
kidding. Like I'm addicted to it.
yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
Yeah, yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people are, a lot of people are. But like I said, a lot of people go about it the completely wrong way and then say, "Oh, veganism didn't work for me." And it's like, well, did you wean yourself off? So it took me, I think it took me 6 years to go vegan. I went vegetarian, and then I went vegan after I went vegetarian. It took me 6 years. The last thing I gave up was cheese.
Yeah,
Something
that's
about cheese is like ridiculous.
yo, cheese. Oh my God.
I know, I don't,
I had some aged Gruyere Parmesan. Oh, I was
I
like,
know,
this is ridiculous.
I know, it's so
Yeah, it was like a
ridiculous.
$20 brick of cheese. It was delicious.
It was
Um,
it. Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like my homie Shape, he's vegan. And so I tried going vegan years ago, and then I tried going vegan not too long ago, maybe 6 months ago. And I lasted literally 1 month. And then now it's kind of like I'm eating meat, I'm eating stuff, but it's like a very low level. And I'm
Yeah, that's
kind of
fine.
like I'm trying to kind of slowly get to the point where like, but I also once in a while, if I want a chicken wing, I'll probably eat it. But I'd like to get to the point where I'm basically vegan. And
And
then if
I
I
think
want to
that's
have
the
pizza, I'll have fucking
mhm.
pizza. You know
Yeah,
what I
and I
mean?
think that's the perfect way of going about it. And I'm also like, I'm kind of pissed at these like militant vegans who are out in the streets, like showing people slaughterhouses and calling
Yeah,
people
that's
murderers. Like,
extreme. That's
it's so
extreme
extreme
shit.
and it ruins the vegan image. It's like, why do you
Yeah.
guys have to be assholes about it? Like, everyone's on their own journey. It takes time. Some people aren't able to do it. And I think it gives a bad name to all the vegans because we're not all like that. Everyone has their own process with
Oh,
turning vegan.
there's this channel on YouTube called The Evil Food Supply, and they did a like documentary style shit. But they did a video on like how they, made breakfast as the most important meal of the day.
Yeah,
And really all that was an advertisement. That wasn't like a fact. It was just
yeah.
an advertisement. And but I thought about that. I was like, what have we been lied to? Like the truth is stranger than fiction. It's like, what have we been lied to so hard And it's cool. I'm a part of this. I'm with you guys. Remember the Santa Claus and the stork thing I brought up? Okay. I'm with you guys on this shit. I'm a part of this. But imagine like, let's say you die and then you find out everything. Imagine if this whole time we're not supposed to be eating meat. We're not supposed to be doing any of this stuff. It's just kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, and that's the
It
other
really
thing that
is.
Mark says. That's the other thing that Mark Passio says, that we live in a satanic society and that Satanism inverts everything. Everything is turned upside down. It's kind of like 1984, the Ministry of Truth,
Have you
the
guys, if
Ministry
you
of
guys
Health.
haven't seen that, if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's kind of trippy. It's old and kind of slow, but it is very bizarre. Sorry, keep going.
No, I was just saying that, sorry, my phone went off, but I'll just keep talking. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
Oh yeah, because my phone went off. But yeah, no, it's just like reminiscent of that book where it's just like the Ministry of Truth just pumps out lies, the Ministry of Health just pumps out illness. It's almost, people say it's the same thing here on planet Earth. The justice system just keeps people in perpetual cages. The education system just indoctrinates people. The health system just makes people ill through surgery and big pharma. So we are kind of living in that way that you're talking about, where everything is just backwards and opposite, and everything's just one big lie in our faces the entire
You know,
time.
you know what's really trippy? And remember, guys, I'm just spitballing here. I don't know what's really up or down. Okay, don't take any of it. We're just thinking out loud. That's all I'm doing. But like the whole how you said people they invert shit. So something that was really crazy that I saw, I actually tried making a video on this, and YouTube literally like wouldn't like they let me post it, but it was like restricted out the ass. So I never really talked about it again, but I could always just delete this if I have to. But like there's like the chakras in the chakra system in your body is like these light spectrums. And so basically it starts with like reds at the bottom, like sex is red, and then it will go up and it will get lighter as it goes to the top. Anyways, the LGBTQ flag is this is trippy shit, but it's literally just your chakra system flipped upside down. So we're supposed to be operating from the head down, but on the flag it has it where everything's going from your sex drive down. So it sounds crazy. I know this is hard to explain, but if you were to look it up and just type in chakras and the gay flag, whatever you want to call it, you'll see it's literally just it's upside down. That's all I want to say about that. Anyways, I'm getting a little carried away with that one, but I thought that was interesting because let's just be honest, sex is everything nowadays. It's all about sex now. Everything, all of it. Sex and money. That's it. It's all anything's about anymore. At least from what I can see. Or if you've ever been on Netflix lately. Or any TV show ever made. All right. Who's next? We lost her. All right. So we're going to do Jeremy. You're going to come on next. Bum, 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 bum. And thank you for the $2. He goes, how do I call in? I just put the link in the chat one more time. And if it says you can't get in, there's just too many people trying to call in. And unfortunately, I can't control that. But thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. What's up, Mr. Mister? How you doing? Making kids is more fun than having kids. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Idiocracy is privacy. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. If you guys haven't seen the Idiocracy movie, one, it's a good laugh. It's a good time. Very slapstick comedy. But it's pretty on point. I mean, you want to talk about some fucking conspiracy shit, go watch that movie. It makes sense. It actually makes sense. All right, hold on. Who did I say come on? Jeremy, you're next, brother. Hold on one moment. I'm scrolling through the comments, girl. I'm throwing through those comments, girl. If you have 3 kids and this guy has none, you'll have that many more votes of a similar worldview while this guy and his worldview die off. Simple. Yeah, that's what I meant about the closed-minded shit. I don't want to keep bringing up my ex-girlfriend, but I'm going to. I'll bring out all my ex-girlfriends. Okay. They did this to themselves. They shouldn't have broke up with me. I'm just kidding. Kind of. So she had, I would get through to her, but she had the closed mind problem. And I don't mean closed mind. Like I wasn't trying to make her believe what I believe. It was just more like, can you not even see that this is a possibility? That, things could be a giant fucking lie. Like you're telling me, like back to the do with the kids thing. She literally, anything her parents basically believe, she believes that. Even if it's fucking so far out, like doesn't even make sense. It's just like, well, my parents are Democrats. I'm a Democrat. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? It's like, what? Like if my parents were poor, the last thing I'd want to be saying is, well, my parents were poor. I'm going to be poor too. Yeah. Sorry, just making a point. Anyway, I just kind of thought about that. I was like, that was one thing that did piss me off a little bit. It was just kind of like, I'm just talking here. It's not set in stone. I don't know what the fuck's going on. All right, $2 from Karma. He goes, that guy is in a doomsday cult. Yeah, he might be. He might be. We need to start our own cult. Just get weird. Just get real weird. Just join it. Fuck it. Can't beat them. Join them. I'm just kidding. All right, we got $5 from Gustavo Garcia. He goes, I'm paying $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment. My parents live in a 4-bedroom house, paying $1,600. Yeah. Honestly, I think like the best setup is if you could have like some of my kind of family friends. They live on the kind of like a nice big acre, and so they built a little like small house out in the back for the grandparents, and then they live in the main house, and then they got the brother and sister are building another little small thing over on the side, and then they're all just splitting up, just divvying it up. And I was like, that's kind of genius, but you're going to need some money to start that, but it is smart. We got Bathtub Mary, hell of an at name. You got to love that one. That's making the whole show, to be honest. $10. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. We got Jeremy coming in. Jeremy, 3, 2, 1. Jeremy.
Jack, what's going on, brother?
My man, Jeremy, my boy.
Yes, sir. Happy Cinco de Mayo to you.
Oh, yeah. Happy Cinco de Mayo to all my muchachos out there. I didn't even realize that. So, Jeremy, talk to me. How old are you and where are you calling from?
37 from Texas.
All right. I got the Texas. We got a lot of Texans up in here, man. So Jeremy, what's percolating upstairs, man? What's going on tonight?
The thing I wanted to bring up was I think it's hard out here for a lot of people, but I also think a lot of people are putting themselves in real bad situations due to bad decisions.
Oh, yeah. Guilty. You caught me. I've done it. What are some of the bad decisions? Like, lay it on us. And I'll tell you if everything you say, I'm going to just say guilty if I've done it.
Overinflated lifestyle, trying to keep up with people on the internet, buying just BS that they know they shouldn't be buying. I'm guilty. I've been guilty of this shit too,
I think the overinflated lifestyle one, I'm really glad I learned that earlier. I'm really glad I learned that before I turned 30. Because that one's like the biggest one. I'll say this so many times on this channel. I get comments. I can't read every comment, but I'll see a lot of comments where they're like, bro, you're going to be so loaded, bro. You're going to be this and that. And I'm like, yeah, well, only, I'm going to tell you what, nobody out in public is going to know any of that if that does happen, because I'm going to be living in a basic house next to another basic house in a basic neighborhood, driving up. Maybe I'll drive an old school car that cost me 20 grand, not 80 grand, 20 grand. That'll be my cool car. And then my daily driver, I'll blend in with basically everybody on the road.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know another thing. I think that people are trying to go at this solo, and I know I've heard you say it a lot, that sooner or later, people are going to have to start coming back together. It's like me and my wife, we just got married last week, right?
Hey, congrats.
Yes, sir. And we got a baby coming. Like I said, I started late. First kid at 37, just got married at 37. But without her and me pulling together, we wouldn't be able to have the things that we have. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
I agree with you, and that's why I always bring up my boy Taco. Is Taco saving my life or doing any of this stuff, or is he splitting everything with me? No, he's not. But it helps. It fucking helps. And could I live alone? Yes. But I'm gonna be shelling out an extra one. I'm gonna be lonely, and I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm learning how to be alone. Taco's not always here. We're not always just hanging out, holding hands. That'd be a little odd, but you get my point. I'm alone a lot, but I would just be alone all the time, probably, besides when I go out and do some social stuff. And I would be spending an extra, I don't know, $7,000 a year on rent to live alone. So to me, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't care if I'm making fucking $8,000 a month or whatever. I don't fucking care. Like, what's the what am I just gonna go shell out half of that for a fucking high rise and in Miami Beach?
Yeah, for sure. Like me and my wife, we bring in about 95 together, right?
And that's good money.
95,000.
That's
Yeah,
great.
yes, it is. But it's not like balling. We're not balling out of control, right? We both got car payments. We got rent, just like everybody else does. But what we don't do, we eat all meals at the house. We don't go out like that. You know what I'm saying? We try to stay below our means if possible.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the best bet for everyone, including myself, because they could this shit. My job is like most people's jobs. Like this shit could get cut in half, or it could be totally cut. I wouldn't say forever. I don't feel like the internet's really going anywhere, because if it does, we're all fucked because we're all very reliant on it. Just pointing that out. But yeah, that's how I look at it all right now. I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. I'm just saving up, and just in case, dude. I'm trying to have that just in case money. That fuck you money, that's another story. But like, I'm with you, man. Like, I wish, who knows, maybe I will meet a good girl. I don't know. But like, if I did have that opportunity, I'd be doing the same shit. If I met a girl who was down to split the bills with me, are you kidding me? Are you joking? Even a friend,
Well, I'm like you. Like I was telling my wife, even if I made 200,000 by myself, I wouldn't live no different than what I do now at 45,000, because all it would be was just accumulating shit. It wouldn't be make my life better, because at a certain point, I think the studies was after like 75,000 a year, the happiness you break even on being happy once your needs are met, right? So if I made even more money, it's just to accumulate shit. It's not to be a better person. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, no, dude, I'm 1,000% with you. Like as someone who I've balled out before, I've made some bad decisions with money. Okay, I've done it, and it was cool for like, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks. After that, I just realized I just blew a bunch of money, and I'm actually not rolling like that. And none of that stuff did anything for me whatsoever. And I've sold most of the stuff that I bought with it. And some of it was experiences, but like, all I know is I've been really happy making $6,000 a month, which I do understand nowadays. That's still, depending where you live, that's still, if you're by yourself, lone wolf, that's still kind of pushing it, depending. But like, I've lived a really great, awesome life on $6,000 a month take home. So that's kind of how I still live my life. I'm like, I can make $6,000 a month and I live great. I'm not sweating the bill. I could go out to dinner once in a while, do this once in a while. So that's how I look at it. Anything over $5,000 a month, that shit just goes away. I'm just like, fuck it. Worst case scenario money. That's all I'm doing with it. Like, I'm about it. Make all the money you fucking can, for sure. I highly recommend it. But
right, it's my last thing. I'll go ahead and get out of here so I can get somebody else up in there. Right. I hadn't seen a lot of people. This is my first time catching you live, so I appreciate you having me on.
Sure.
I haven't heard a lot of people on your show talk about, like, I did quite a bit of prison time. I got out about
Okay.
6 years ago. I never thought, even at the point I'm at right now, married, baby on the way, financially okay, I didn't think that was possible when I was younger, because all I was worried about was living for the day, because I was in survival mode. And I think a lot of people are in survival mode. And when you're just surviving, you can't worry about tomorrow or the next day, because you have to worry about right now. But the better things get, the farther you can start seeing things out. Now I'm like a year, 2 years, 3 years. What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So
Oh
I
no,
hope.
I totally get what you mean, and take it from him. He did literal prison time. Okay, he will fuck you up if you don't listen to him. I'm just kidding. But if and he's not the only guy. I think I saw another dude in here. He did prison time too. It's crazy when I know, because I know a couple cats who did prison time and now they've been out 5, 6 years and now they're doing phenomenal. So maybe we all got to go to prison for a little while because they seem to be doing pretty well now. But anyways, hey, congrats to all your success, man. Stay out of the joint. You got a kid on the way, and congrats on everything, man.
Jack, I appreciate you, brother. You have a good day.
All right, man. Take it easy. Crazy, man. There's another guy, Tommy Unfiltered. I thought I saw him calling in. He did prison time too. I don't know what he went in for, but even him, it seems like he figured it out. And I have faith in everybody. I think everyone can figure out a way. I don't know if everyone to get rich, probably not going to happen. But we can make it though. All right. Anonymous goes, tell us the truth about 5G towers. Dude, the type of we're talking weird shit I've heard about the 5G towers, man. People are saying it's like high level radiation. That's great. Technically, if you go on your phone and look at the service agreement, it actually says not to keep it in your pocket in the agreement on your phone. It's like it says something about keep it a certain amount of inches away from your skin because it puts out radiation. I know. Who knows if it's true, but it says it on the phone. Tia Steele goes, get Jack to the comedy mothership. Stand-up comedians. He can go on Kill Tony. I'm actually going out there at the end of the month, this month. That's actually the trip I was talking about where I was like, oh, man, I don't feel like dropping a bunch of money. But I'm actually going there. I'm going to go check it out. Who knows? If I get on Kill Tony, I hope I don't bomb and eat shit. That would suck. But I'm going to go try it out. All right. Let's keep this moving. Who's next? All right. We're going to do... I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to get... Boom, boom, boom. All right. We're going to do... Who's all up in this joint down here, son? All right. We got Matt. Okay, we're going to do Max, and then we'll do Sacred Cow guy after that. All right. Yeah, but the 5G towers, man, if somebody calling in has any more information than I do, because that's the only thing I've heard about it, is that it's high-level radiation. So I really don't know. Who fucking knows? If what I've heard is remotely true, not looking good. Not looking good at all. And I'm going to move to the middle of nowhere if what I've heard is remotely true about the 5G towers. This guy goes, I'm 6'3", 63 years old, male, put a tent in a friend's backyard for $200 a month, got AC. He goes, TV, all great. Just got an $80K settlement. I'm going to the Dominican Republic to retire. Unreal. I know. When there's a will, there's a way, man. I mean, seriously. I was talking to some guy, he DM'd me, and he was like, you know what? I'm young. He's like, he's been looking into the van life, but he doesn't feel like dropping the money on a van. And so, yeah, he packed up his shit. He's living in his car, and he's like, my goal is 30 grand. And then when I got the 30 grand, I'll make a move from there. And I was like, dude, if that's what you think you have to do, like, go for it. Fuck it. Why not? I mean, you're young. I think it's like 25 or something. Hey, man, especially if you're like a good looking 25-year-old, chicks will probably think you're cool. They're like, oh my God, he's so brave. He lives in his Toyota. All right. Who did I say was coming up next? Max, my boy. It's Maxie. All right. Just want to get through a couple of these. $5 from Florida Henry. Humans can't consume 99% of plants, but can consume 99% of animals. Okay. I'll have to look that up. All right. I'll have to look that up because the information I looked up, it's actually backwards on that. So who knows what's true anymore? I don't fucking know. But I had a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich this morning, so it's safe to say I'm still on the carnivore diet. Yeah, like I said, guys, I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know. I really don't. But I'm willing to try new stuff, you know? If everyone's going gay, it's trendy. Everyone's doing it. Just kidding. All right. All right. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, there it is. All right. $50 from RC Wolfie. Thank you, brother. Don't get me started on the cheese. Dude, the cheese is addiction. Real bad. Thank you for the $50, man. Also, guys, next month, I'm going to do another $500 giveaway. I'll talk about that later, but it's going to be the first Sunday in June. And, you know, $100 to 5 different people. You guys can call in. That'll be fun. But this gentleman is a part of the miracle. He threw in money for that. And Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, if you see him in the chat, he is another person who is putting up money for that. All right, we get $20 from Jonathan. He goes, I found your channel recently. I live in Brazil, and the way you portray the current situation in America, it feels totally like a failed Latin American country. Yeah, apparently, man, South America's got it fucking rough. So if we want to see our future, we should probably just go take a trip there. I could be tripping. But all right. Anyways, let's get some. Thanks for the $20, brother. All right, Max, you're coming in 3, 2, Max. Max is live. Can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you. Yeah.
All right, Matt. Oh, loud and clear, man. So, how old are you, and where are you calling from, brother?
I'm 36 and calling from BC, Canada. All
right, nice, man. So, what's percolating upstairs tonight, man? What's on your mind tonight?
There's so many good topics to talk about, like even just beforehand. But we also talked about how everything could be just cut off and how you're being canceled, maybe. And I think I'm kind of like in the same situation where I like worked for created videos for a year, only to find out that that I'm under suppression. So all the videos that I made kind of like didn't reach anyone. You would upload a video, it would get 0 views. So like your content is not promoted to anyone.
Okay, I got you.
That's kind of like what that suppression aspect is real, that censoring aspect. I think like I'm like, it's good that you're as big as you are, because I think at some point, at some level, they don't just cut you off because it would be too obvious.
Yeah, like that's and that's another thing too. I always make sure, like when I say this stuff, I always make sure I'm like, I have no idea. I could be an idiot. Yeah. This is, because it's true. I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like I see everything you guys see. So I have the same information you guys have. Yeah. Anyways, keep going.
We essentially have to self-censor ourselves. If we don't, then like they shut it off. So that's
yeah. Well, because here's what happened years ago, maybe 6, 7 years ago. I knew 2 YouTubers at the time, and I couldn't believe they were making the kind of money they were. And they'd be at the same skate park every day as I was. And I just couldn't believe it. I was like, man, that is insane. But one day they had this thing called the adpocalypse happen. So all these YouTubers who were making just, 10 grand, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month, like crazy money. They were also living like they were making 20 grand, 30 grand a month. So all of a sudden YouTube cut off the ads. So basically everyone went from making this big money to now making literally nothing. Or even if you were making $1 grand or $2 grand a month, their bills were set up so that they were making 15 grand a month. But I remember that really vividly because I wanted to be doing this. So I was paying attention, and I couldn't believe how many of these people had to go get part-time jobs, go do Uber, like one of these big YouTubers was literally working at the skate shop. And I remember being like, kind of like, oh shit, like you didn't save nothing. Because I knew what kind of money they're making. and it was just funny. So that's why I'm like, I know that with what I'm doing, yeah, there's high reward, but there's also a risk with it. So I'm making sure I save everything. Because if they were to shut shit off, man, like I'm not just gonna stop making content. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna have to accept making less money, and then maybe I gotta go get another job, or maybe I have to go back into the workforce, which I have no problem doing. Like if I have to, I'll go get a job.
Well,
And
you don't. I think you wouldn't want anyone to kind of like have that thumb on you. You would probably like maybe try Rumble. Like I'm kind of moving to Rumble. Try that now. Like I'm not letting someone like shut me down or like keep me quiet.
what I'm trying to say is I would do whatever I had to do. So if I had to go get a job, I would. But at the same time, like if I've got a shit ton of money saved and I can weather the storm, then I'll probably just do that. But let's say the fucking storm lasted 5 years. It's safe to say I'm gonna probably be going working another fucking job. Unless I just real quick make a few $1,000,000, which so far has not happened. So, that's kind of what I mean by like I don't want to be pessimistic and all that. It's just sometimes when things seem to be kind of like either too good or they appear exactly as they are. So for instance, everybody in here probably sees it exactly what I see, and things are like, how is everything so expensive and everyone's just keeps moving? It kind of doesn't make any sense. So it's safe to say it's probably true. Like shit's probably not going to stay up for too much longer. Or maybe it will. Maybe things will never go down and we're all just royally fucking screwed. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think like your observations are right. They are truthful. That's why people resonate with the content, because people are being lied to, like you said yourself, like everyone is being lied to. So when someone actually like points out the reality of how things are, other people can resonate with that. So like that's they see prices are high, but then you would see like commercials or like in the TV being told like, no, everything is fine. Everything is fine. But people see reality, the reality, like people being lied to or gaslit because like they're being told like, no, everything is fine, when in reality, like, things are how they are, right?
Yeah. So one of my friends, well, acquaintance, we'll talk here and there. I was just talking to him because last year he was super down, and this year he's way up. And he's a waiter, right? But he got a really good position at a really nice place. So, we just had season here in Florida, which is the winter months, where you could make, a really good amount of money in 6 months. So he racked up, he was having $3,000 weeks for 6 months. So, you do the math on that, which is crazy money. It's really good for a waiter here. Okay.
Yeah.
Remember this. And I've bartended, so I know this is possible. The problem is your job kind of gets cut off during summer. So whatever you make, you got to save it. But, we were talking about a week ago, and, I didn't get into financials with him. He just likes to share everything. So I just let him. But he was sharing to me what he was making, all this stuff. And, he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a new car and all this stuff. And I was kind of like, okay, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm looking at this Benz. And, remember, he's renting a room in he's renting a room in someone's house, so it's a waiter here. Okay. That's all I'm going to say that one more time. So of course, he's talking to me and he's like, man, I just don't see, he's like, man, everything's so great right now and all this stuff. And he's like, but everybody that I associate with's like not doing good.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, dude. I was like, the last thing you want to do is walk around telling people you're making $3,000 a week. I was like, you could tell me that. I'm happy for you. But like, that's the last thing you want to be doing. And then what does he do? He's like, I'm looking at this Benz. I was like, bro, do yourself a favor. I was like, last year you were like eating shit, living on a couch. I was like, bro, Beamer, Benz, Audi, Infiniti, cross those off your list. Don't buy any of those cars.
Yeah.
What does he fucking what does he fucking do? What did he do? He bought a BMW.
Mhm.
Yeah, didn't even buy it out. Bought a used BMW, put down like a fraction, and got himself a car payment.
Yeah,
And I'm
I see that. Like people that make good money, they don't see the economy, right? They don't see how the economy actually is. They just see like, oh, right now they're doing good, but how the overall economy is, they don't see. So like or like even like they kind of sense it maybe a little bit too with like inflation, higher prices, but like how bad it can get if you lose like an income or something, they don't really recognize, I think. Like you said, there's just like, they think like, they don't really think about saving and stuff like that.
Well, and I'm guilty of that because I've done that. But like this guy right here, he goes, I'm paying $6,000 a year for a shed in a yard. A shed in a yard. That's where we're at. That's what's going down. That's what I mean by Twilight Zone shit here, okay? We got people living in sheds. We got the fucking waiter. And I'm only making fun because I was this guy. I remember I was bartending at a TGI Fridays, okay? Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I know I'm frozen. I was bartending at a fucking TGI Fridays, making surprising, shocking money at a TGI Fridays. Never would have guessed in my life. That's the only reason I stayed there for quite some time. And that's when I bought the BMW. Yeah, 25-year-old Jack. I know. But my general manager roasted me so good. So good. He was like, Jack, you're a bartender driving a nicer car than me, and I'm the general manager of this store. He goes, no, but he was just like, we were like joking back and forth. And he was like, he's like, bro, I'm driving a Nissan Altima and I make twice what you make.
Yeah.
But dude, within the next 6 months, let's just say I ended up getting rid of the BMW because I couldn't afford it. Every time it broke down, $3,000 every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like people like that make good money, like, or that are smart about money, they don't throw it out, right? If they don't have to. If they can use like an older car or something, they don't need to have them used. If it's reliable or whatever, like I know like people that are kind of like smart with their money, they don't seem to throw it out just out. Yeah, that's kind of what I see.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one more question before I keep this party moving. So, you're in Canada. So, I feel like Canada, from everything I've been hearing, I feel like they've got it worse than what we have down here in the States right now. Like,
Yeah,
like from the rent, your taxes, like getting a good job. It seems like you guys have us, and I know it's not a competition. It's not one you want to be winning, but like your inflation, it's not looking too good. Like, like, do you like consider moving out of the country? Because a lot of people, even America, are considering that.
I'm thinking like I want to be gone. Like this is getting like, it's like the heat is being turned on. Like it's like you're a frog in a boiling water, like in a boiling pot or something. That's how it feels. Where like the heat is just being turned on, and like they're going after people. They're putting like legislations in place to have people not say anything. So like news is also being canceled out. So like if you post something on Facebook or other things, other channels, if it's a news article, they actually have reduce what you can see. So they take that out, and it's like, we can't show you that because you're in Canada. So like if you have news articles on Facebook, yeah, and they kind of like putting legislations in place that they can come after people in a sense. If you say something that could offend something or could be deemed hate speech, and then like the whole like safety in regards of your money. Like I don't know if some people know this, like, but banks can actually freeze your money even if you just like donate to like cause or something. So it's not great here. It's why I'm like fuck this. Like I wanna like go somewhere else, maybe like Central or South America or something.
Yeah, because we're still kind of fortunate enough, at least in America, where if I wanted to move somewhere like Tennessee or somewhere, it's still expensive. It still kind of doesn't make sense, but at least, you know, if I'm able to go buy a house there's still $200,000 houses in America, and it doesn't seem like it's like that in Canada, I guess is what I was trying to get at.
No, you would get that's still like in no man's land. You would still get like houses for like maybe there would be shacks or something. But the
Yeah.
thing is just like, do you want to be in a climate that is just like where you can't really speak, where it's like very heading towards like a communism,
Oh
socialist
no,
kind of
no, no,
nation
no.
that
I don't want. I
that
don't want to deal with none of that. Yeah.
yeah,
No.
that's kind of like where it's heading to. So like even if I wanted to get a house, even though like that is you would really have to get a shack that is like in the middle of no man's land.
Yeah.
At the same time, look at the prices in Mexico. Like you find something, look up for 200,000 what you find, and it's like, wow, you get actually a pool, you get like like you get a nice house for that price.
It's crazy. It's trust me, it's crazy. It's on my radar too. Like I don't want to just jump ship on my country, but you know, if it keeps getting worse though, I'm probably gonna bounce. But anyways, Max, great, best of luck to you, man. Maple
Yeah.
Leaf Bandit. I'm gonna let you go. We'll keep this party moving.
Yeah.
Thanks
you.
for calling in, man. Good guy. Good guy. All right. This guy goes, oh, this is funny. He goes, American prisoners are gay. I don't think that's right. Keep them neutral and stop this bad behavior. I didn't think that exactly was gay, but I just watched this movie the other night. It's funny as shit. It's called The Big Stand. And it was with Rob Schneider. But it's like he has to go to prison, so he gets trained by this like guru to be like the ultimate fighter. So when he goes to prison, well, anyways, when he's about to go to prison, he's in a gay bar and he doesn't realize he's in a gay bar. So the guy next to him looks like he's been to prison. And he was like, hey man, if I pay you money, will you like tell me, you know, what to do in prison and stuff like that? So the guy starts talking to him, and Rob Schneider's like, he goes, well, he's like, so do people really get raped? And he goes, and the guy's looking at me, he goes, yeah. He goes, I raped many men in prison. And Rob Schneider's like, oh no. He goes, does that make you gay? And he goes, no, I'm gay all the time. He goes, I just rape dudes in prison. I just thought that was funny. He goes, you're in a gay bar. I don't know. Big Stand. Great movie. I thought it was hilarious. Like I never even heard about it. It's from like 20 years ago. Funny as shit though. You want a good laugh? That's a funny movie. All right. Bing bong. My bad. $10. Thank you. No one has empathy. We can't find happiness without it. Vegan is step one. Kindness isn't the weakness. Narcissism is me equals manliness is a psyop. The lack of critical thinking equals poor, alone, and Dunning-Kruger. I need a thesaurus for that last part. Well, thank you for the $10. And yeah, but like he says, it's kind of one of those things where like the happiness thing, I don't know. I think it's just kind of hard to be super happy when everything's fucked up and, you know, good luck with a relationship and all that. I get that aspect. But the rest of that stuff, who knows? This could all be true. All that could be on point for all I know. I have no idea. But I wouldn't doubt it. The world, everything going on, you know. Mike Tyson, Nick, and Nate Diaz are vegan, men with balls. Actually, there's a lot of people you wouldn't never know are vegan that are vegan. It's kind of shocking, actually. All right. We got another $1 from Urban Legend. Thank you, brother. All right. Who's next up in here? All right. And if you guys want to call in, anybody new watching the show, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now. There looks like there's like maybe 2 or 3 slots open. If anybody wants to call in. Boom, 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 boom. All right. I know we've been getting a little weird tonight, and it's cool, man. All right. Don't take any of this too seriously. This person goes, I made $30K last month. Do you want to know how? I need 300 lucky people who will pay $100 for my program. That's smart. That's smart. I saw this guy. It was a joke. It was like $500 for a course on how to get rich. And so the dude clicks on it. He buys the course. In the opening clip of the course, he goes, rule number 1 for getting rich, never trust anybody on the internet. And then he goes, I hope you learned your lesson. That is all. That was the course. I know. I thought that was awesome. I don't know if it was a joke or if it was real, but either way, it was funny. All right. Who's next? All right. Sacred Cow, you're coming up. One moment here. Boom, boom, boom. Diddly do, diddly dee. We got 50 big ones from the future. Thank you. He goes, get into aviation, fellas. Join the military after high school. Got out with the AMP license, 6 years in jet maintenance experience. Also, average age for an AP techs are old as fuck. So get in while you can. Love the show, bro. Thanks for the $50. I actually do know another guy who's in aviation. He does very well for himself. Yeah. I mean, I'm not handy like that. If I was, trust me, I would have already been doing that. I would have been making, I would have, if I was handy and I had this personality, forget it. Forget it. People are going to want it. Forget it. It'd be a wrap. I would have a very successful business doing that for sure. But unfortunately, I'm not handy. And, I got to work with what I got. All right. Sacred Cow, you're coming on. You are live, brother. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear, man.
Oh,
So,
finally,
how-
things work for a change.
yeah, he's tried calling in probably 3 times now. He could never get on. So he finally made it. So how old are you and where are you calling from, brother?
I am 42 years old and I'm calling from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
All right, man. So what's going on upstairs tonight?
Yeah, I just I'm hearing all this talk. What was his name? Noodles from way back about an hour ago or 45 minutes ago. See, I'm not an anti-natalist. I think much like the extremist vegans you were talking about with that young lady from New Jersey, I'm not in that category, but I am for because a friend of mine and myself were having this conversation a week and a half ago, and he came similar discussions, and he came to the conclusion where he said, even though I think that there are too many people on this planet, and I think we're draining too many resources from this planet, I am not advocating for population control. And I said, well, neither am I. ... Not for coercive population control, like kind of what we're seeing right now. I'm for persuasive population control. Hear me out.
Okay.
So,
we're curious. We're curious.
I'm not an economist, so I don't have I can't even begin to have all the nuts and bolts figured out.
It's
like
cool.
Aaron Larry would have to look into this and see if it's possible. But from what I understand, as of 2024, it costs through roughly $300,000 to raise one child from birth to the age of 18. And so I'm thinking to myself, if you were somehow persuaded to have your to have a vasectomy and women a mastectomy, or I may have that backwards, with a $300,000, at least $300,000, if not $600,000 in your bank account, people might be more inclined to say, you know what, that sounds like a sweet deal. Especially if that money is sitting there and, I can let it accrue and, grow. In addition to, the whole, and again, slaughtered sacred cows, I wouldn't be true to my namesake if I didn't butcher people's values and, be willing to have my own butchered in response, because I can take the punches I throw.
I get it.
People are this whole, I don't like all these people around me. I think they're all awful. I think they're all selfish, self-centered. But I want my own kid. I want a bunch of kids. I want them to be mine. This whole selfishness, and this is like we're one for one.
I get that.
Well, for one, our rate of evolution has surpassed has been surpassed by our rate of technological development. I'm also a believer in that notion, and that's where this comes into effect. There's also something called adoption. And there are, for those who want children. I myself don't. And as you probably listened to in Shape's program that airs after yours, I am gay, but I'm also someone who enjoys being single. And I don't, I have no desire, I've had no desire for a very long time to be a family man. But for those who do, and want to contribute to the environment, as Doug Stanhope, if you're familiar with that comedian, did
I love him. He's hilarious.
Abortion is green. If you want to save the environment, adopt. Because just like unwanted pets, there are so many unwanted children out there in the world. It's not even funny. And the horror stories I hear coming from these institutions is astounding and downright disturbing, especially if you go on the Reddit forums, which is a dark path in and of itself. But
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And real quick, not to make light of this, but I used to have a stupid joke back in the day where I would say like, you know, what's with, I go, where are all the gay guys that are, you know, you don't know they're gay. It's like, you know, they just sound normal and it's like they just prefer penis kind of guys. So I just got to say, I'm really stoked because I would have never guessed you were gay by the way you talk and all that. I just wanted to say I'm glad to finally come across someone.
so,
Anyways, my
I'll
bad.
say this. No, you're good. You're good. In fact, I'll add to that, and I'll say that don't feel bad at all about that, because some of my gay colleagues, some of whom I've been with, quote unquote, who pride themselves in having impeccable gaydar, quote unquote, have told me that they would have never figured it out either. So I must be doing something right.
No. I just don't know what it. I don't know what it is. I guess it was kind of one of those things where, you know, I don't care. Like, I don't care. You're gay,
maybe it's
whatever.
Gaydar EMP shockwave that I send unconsciously or subconsciously to people, and it just fucks them up.
I feel like some people are just putting on an act, you know, with the voice and everything. So it's refreshing when I come across. I think you're the second person in my life who I've come across who was like, "Oh no, I'm gay," and I was like, I would have never known. You're like the second person in my entire life that maybe I've come across a bunch of them, and I just have no idea. But I just had to say that to you. Anyways.
If anything, I kind of take it as a weird kind of compliment in a way.
No, it's cool. I had a joke where it was like, I'm not gay, I just prefer penis, and you just reminded me of that joke. Yeah. So, anyways, I wanted to read this one real fast though before we continue. ASMR Worldwide goes, people usually become handy when they have no options other than to attempt to fix the problem or situation themselves. Yeah, I get that. I'm like,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I've fixed stuff. I'm fixing my screen on my back porch. I'm fixing this shit over here. It's just my problem is I don't do it nicely, so it comes out, you know, not looking too great. That's my only issue.
But at least it works. And at least it works with your specifications.
Yeah. So I'm just hoping my HOA thinks it's up to par. But anyways, the adoption thing, though, I guess I never really thought about that. I mean, I'd have to look at, I'm not going to just go adopt a kid. I don't even have a girlfriend or a wife, but, you know, do they just let single people adopt kids? I don't know if they do that. Do they?
If anything, you should probably, if you get anybody else guest-wise on any other call-in show, who does work in these agencies, they could give you their insight and expertise. Because I would be interested, just as someone who.
I'm actually going to look. I'm going to look that up. Hopefully I'll have some information for you guys because I'm actually really curious about that. This one has to do with you said you were a vegan.
No,
you're not.
I understand them. I understand where they're coming from. I'd like to be, but meat just tastes too damn good to me.
It's really hard. This big bog with the 5 big ones, he goes, nothing about veganism is extremist. Putting your 5 minutes of pleasure above an entire life you've been lied to, that's narcissistic projection. Okay, I'm a little confused by that.
You know, you value the taste of the meat of the animal that you sacrificed for that 5 minutes.
Okay,
that 5 minutes of pleasure, I think, is what that individual is getting at.
I thought that's what he was saying too, but he was like really fortune cookie-esque with that one.
But I'm guessing he's not the type that you would want to take to a large social gathering, especially if you were trying to work the room with your charm and witticism.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, like I was just saying, I'm open-minded in that aspect where I was like, well, you know, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this. Maybe, you know, but trying it out, the whole vegan thing, man, it was fucking difficult, dude. Like really difficult. And then when I tell my friends, oh yeah, I'm just trying to go vegan for a little while. I'm trying this out. It's like almost like, like what? And I was just like, dude, I don't know. I'm just trying it out. Like, relax, like chill out. Give me a month and then I'll have some fucking pizza with you. You know, it's kind of just like, what's the big deal? But I guess it's because of the way, like, you got a bunch of vegans freaking out, doing crazy protests. I guess it could make anybody feel a little weird about it.
Also hoping to make a elevator pitch to my channel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, and then we'll keep this party moving. I got a bunch of people I want to get through here.
I understand. A lot of the content so far that I've put out is, first of all, it's non-live action using AI digital voiceovers, including an AI digital clone of my voice I used using 11 Labs. But also, a lot of it has to do with managerial incompetence. One that has to do with return to office mandates and the ridiculousness of it. There's a character on there I've created. I call him the Boomer Boss, and he wears a suit, but instead of having a normal human head, he has it's a picture of an ass taking a crap with the
Nice
thing, and two angry eyes looking at you with mean, angry, deep, boomer-esque male voice berating you and telling you what to do.
Oh man, you're on another spectrum, bro. That's another level, dude. All right, man.
Part of the rantings. So
Well, you guys can go check him out. Slaughtered Sacred Cows. He's got some crazy talking points, man. He's actually a very interesting guy. Thanks for calling in, brother. I'll look forward to having you on
for
again.
having me.
No problem. All right, let's keep this party moving. This one was funny. Gay is popular. Yeah, it's hard to make. I'm still gonna make gay jokes. Like I don't care. They make fun of straight people all the time, or women like to call you gay if you don't agree with something. It's like, but I did think it was funny where it's like, well, it's trendy. Everyone's doing it. I thought that was kind of funny. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but could be bugging out. Then again, it's like, how many people are doing that just because it's like cool, I guess. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. So I'll let that go. All right. Let's keep this moving. Who's up next here? Max. I think I already had Max on, unless it's a different Max. Doug, I see you. All my regulars in here. Mark and Doug. You guys just wait a little bit. I'm going to get you guys on a three-way call with y'all. All right, DB, you're going to be next. And then after that, we're going to do 91, whatever your name is, something 191 in the front. All right, hold on one moment. Bing Bong's coming in hot with these fivers, man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Vegans are better lovers because they can put themselves in the shoes of their partner. Shitty lovers only care about fleeting pleasure. It's empathy. Okay. Well, yeah, you gotta hit them with the sales pitch. You tell guys like, hey, if you go vegan, man, your sex is gonna be off the charts. You're probably gonna get some more people trying to get vegan. I see what you're doing with that. I love the enthusiasm. Nikki Vamp, what's up, girl? How you doing? Bunch of wokeness today. Yeah, we're getting weird today. Okay. So we're just having fun. If it's too serious for you, I don't apologize. We're getting weird. All right, DB, you're coming in 3, 2, 1. You're in.
What's going on, man? How are you?
Just chilling out, man. So how old are you and where are you calling from, brother?
I'm in my 40s. I'm from South Florida, not too far from you, man.
Oh, my main man. Get on in here, brother.
So I've been watching Jeremiah Babe for a while now, years, and kind of caught your show. I see you and him going back and forth, maybe doing a collab here soon.
Real quick, just for everybody watching, Jeremiah Babe, he's kind of like the Michael Bordenero guy. Plug a bunch. He does more. He kind of daily news, economic talk. He's a cool guy. He's just like straight to the point, straight to the gist. Anyways, just to paint some context in case people don't know who that is. So yeah, keep going.
So yeah, good guy. I live down here in South Florida. I'm a mechanic. I make decent money. I'm in the $80,000 to $90,000 range a year.
That's good. That's great.
Got a sweet deal where I live. I kind of live off the beach here. I live behind a multi-million-dollar mansion where I just live in the little in-law suite, and I take care of the house 6 months out of the year while they're gone. So got a sweet little setup. You know what I mean?
Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Are they hooking you up there for free, or you still got to pay some shit?
It's not free, but it's very, very inexpensive, and that's kind of what I want to talk about. The cost of living. I mean, I got a sweet deal. No wife, no kids. Kind of a single guy. Always kind of lived frugal or below my means. Haven't had a car payment since 2016. So being in the Jeremiah Bay mindset, kind of socking things away. It just blows my mind, especially being down here in South Florida with everybody's got to have the latest and greatest. You got to have the newest iPhone, the newest watch, the hot Jordans, the brand new BMW, Mercedes. It blows my mind how people are surviving or putting the front up that they're surviving, and behind closed doors, it's just like I've got real good friends with wives, girlfriends, 2 incomes, and they're barely making it. And it's just how much longer can this go on before everything collapses? And the dollar, how long is the dollar going to last? I mean, it's just scary times. I don't shelter myself. I go out and have fun and live life. But
Oh yeah, me too. Sure.
you talk about saving. How much do you need to save to put away? It's just that kind of fine balancing act of, okay, got to save some here. I want to go out and do this, or have some fun, or go on a date, or treat yourself. You know what I mean? You can't be hiding, living in a cave your whole life. But cell phones, man, everybody just trying to keep up with the Joneses and Instagram. It's just I guess I'm old, man. I guess I'm old is where I'm going with it.
Well, it's nah, man. I don't think it's that at all, man. I talk to 20-year-olds, and everybody who's reached out to me on Instagram once a week. I go through and try and respond to you guys, but I'll come across every age bracket there is. And there's 20-year-olds out here say the same shit you just said. You get what I mean? So it's I don't really think it's that. I just think some people we get it. But at the same time, I'm like you. I like to live my life as well. And that's why, if you guys didn't catch the video I did, I literally wrote out my entire budget. Like, I'm talking food and fun, the whole 9. And that's me being realistic with myself. Like, I know that I'm gonna go do something every month. Like, it might cost me $50, it might cost me $100. I know that I'm gonna go buy food once a day. So I make food at home, so it's cheap, and then I buy food out so that it meets my little monthly budget, because I know that I'm gonna spend a cool $1,000 a month easy on food and fun. Easy. Like, it might be higher one month, it might be lower the next month. But that's why I put the budget out there, because it's like, as long as you know yourself and you're just realistic, then it's like, okay, I'm going to spend $4,000 a month. So that means I need to make at least $5,000 a month so I could at least save something. That's how I look at it, because I'm going to live my life too. But, I don't know, whatever. People do what the fuck they want. I guess people got to keep spending money. So there is that aspect, or, shit. What was it? I was talking to somebody recently, and they were like, yo, if people just stop paying their credit cards, everything's fucked. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, if everybody stops paying their credit card bill, and then, what are banks going to do? Because that's how they make all their money. But that had me on like that Jeremiah Babe shit, where I was like, oh shit. What if the bank, just take it like this? This is just a crazy thought. All right, let's get weird. What if the banks just completely shut down for real? Like, most of my money is in the bank. I have money. I have the Bank of Jack Morgan, but it's not, it's not on the level that all my other money's in other shit. Like, I don't even know where to go. Like, where, like, I have money sitting in a Roth IRA. I don't know where this building's located. I don't know their address. Like, I don't even know how to go there. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Like, there's bank accounts now. Like, if you have a Discover bank account, I don't even think you can go to an office. You can't even go there. It's all just online.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's some weird shit.
I remember having hurricanes down here. Luckily, we haven't had many in recent years. But people going up to the pump in their BMW, Mercedes, and swiping their card, and their card don't work. You can't get any money out of the ATM. Nobody has cash in their pocket anymore. It's all credit card. It's all debit cards. Even I see people go to the vending machine. They get a Coke or a Pepsi or whatever, and they don't have $1 or $2. They're swiping their card. It's just like, wow, crazy.
Yeah, that was like the cashless society kind of movement, I guess, which is not good. I don't think that'd be a good move, honestly. I don't know if I'll be alive for that, but maybe I will be.
It's all digits on a screen, and I've heard people now have chips in some places implanted in their body or their hands or something. I don't know if that's true or not.
Nah,
they just go in and scan their hand. That's crazy.
I think they're doing test trials with that stuff, but like, for instance, I went to a festival on Friday. It was just like a little music art thing called Sunfest, and cashless, the whole bitch, cashless. And what was crazy to me though was me and my boy Nick. We've been going there since we're kids, and we went last year, and we went the first day it opened. We only go one. I only go once. There's like all weekend. I just go one day. So we got there, and like we're like 3 hours in, and we're walking up and down, and we're like, yo, where's everyone at? Because usually this place is fucking packed. I want to say it was like half the capacity of last year, and it was cashless. And I was like, I don't know, man, this isn't looking too good. So he went yesterday too. I only went Friday. So he called me after he went, and he was like, dude, same shit. He was like, he's like, there's literally no one. He's like, half the people. He's like, it felt like it was empty. And I was like, oh no, that's not a good look. Like, I don't know. Anybody going to music festivals and shit, please comment. I mean, I don't know how many people in here are doing that, but let me know if you're going places and you're seeing like shit just ain't the same. Like, there's not as many people. Because that's what I noticed. I was like, because this shit's usually jumping. Like at West Palm, we don't have too much going on. That's usually got to go to Fort Lauderdale or Miami. So this is usually a big deal. This is like our big deal of the year. You get what I mean?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
I
think maybe it's finally starting to catch up to people. People are finally starting to realize that they can't max out their credit cards anymore. They can't stretch it anymore. I don't know. Maybe people are waking up, or they're going under, or both. I don't really know.
Yeah, because I'm I've been dropping shit left and right, and I've been trying not to buy as much stuff. I don't buy a lot of stuff, but just little shit, just little things like, okay, I don't need I don't need a snack, or I don't need this. I'm just making sure I'm eating at home more, stuff like that, because you could quickly. I've gotten to the point where like the first time I made a budget, I was spending $35 a day on food. This is like 7 years ago. 8 years ago. And that was the first time I ever made a budget. And I was being honest with myself. I was spending $35 a day on food and beverages. And I was I got to fix that. But now I can afford to spend that kind of money on food and fun, but that's food and fun, not just food.
Well, there's people at work, typically the younger people who, they get Uber Eats, or they get, every morning it's a sandwich and a coffee, then they're ordering lunch. I mean, they're going to be spending $50, $40 just between lunch and breakfast every single day. It's just like crazy. How can you afford to do that? Or they're just not thinking about it, and they're just going with it,
No, you're not thinking about it, because I didn't think about it. It wasn't until I wrote it down. You know what I mean? I like listened to somebody who was nearly 3 times my age, an older gentleman. And he was like, "What do you have he was like, "Do you have a budget?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, my rent's this." He's like, "No, did you write it down? Like, do you have like everything written down?" Like, and I was like, "No." He's like, "Well, write it down." He's like, "You'll know." And so I wrote it down, and I was just like, "Oh shit, I'm spending every dollar I make." I was like, "Fuck, no wonder I'm not doing things." This guy, real quick,
it's crazy. Go ahead.
Real fast. Clint, thanks for the $5. He goes, plant a garden, have kids. Children are not toxic to the environment. Consumer lifestyle is. If we change our ways, we could all have 2 kids, no problem. Yeah, for sure. I agree with you. And I saw this video recently. Evasion Hunter, what's up, brother? How you doing? That's my boy right there. I saw this video recently, and the guy's like, how is it possible that my friends with kids are doing better than me, but I have no kids and like no responsibilities, but yet they're seem financially sound? And I was like, well, one, that's really good, because that means you have good friends, and they're probably people you want to stay close to, because they'll rub off on you, so that's cool. But at the same time, I've seen this happen with 2 of my friends, both of them slightly irresponsible. The moment they had kids, fucking within 2-year time, totally different people. Like, I've never seen them be so responsible ever. And I've been friends with them 20 years.
I think the grass is always greener. I mean, I'm single. Got a few girls that I hang with and date with, whatever, but no wife, no kids. Financially pretty stable for the most part. As long as I don't go out and do crazy things or go on a bender, you know what I mean? But
I've been there, brother.
To have a wife and a kid and the white picket fence and all that, sounds great, but in today's day and age, it's hard as we get older. I mean, you said you're in your 30s, you're recently single. I'm in my 40s, I'm single. It's harder to meet people with goals and aspirations and someone you can partner up with. I mean, just trusting people these days is hard. Never mind finding someone to live a life with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm like scared to like. I'm like, dude, I'm not looking right now. I'm just like, dude, I'm gonna be solo for a while. Like, I'm not even trying to just hump and dump either. That's just, I don't feel like doing it. I've done it. I'm good. I don't feel like it. Maybe I will if some chick's really throwing herself at me. That's a different story. But like, I think about it though, and I'm like, dude, am I even gonna be like? I guess you just got to take the risk, I guess. But I think about it, I'm like, dude, am I just gonna end up a statistic? Like, the
It's a lot of
probability.
work. It's a
Yeah,
lot of work. You got to kind of weed the people out. You know what's this one's problems? What's this one's baggage? Is she a druggie? Does she smoke? Does she drink? Does she have 8 kids by 7 guys? I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying these are some of the things I've run across. Just keeping it real, keeping it light, man.
Well, keeping it light. Well, that's what I'm running into. Well, I haven't been on anything, but like, for instance, I was just in Michigan, right? And we're there. We have a little barbecue at my cousin's house. They're all around early 30s, mid 30s, and his girlfriend's friend comes over, and she's got a fresh newborn with her. And she's cute, really nice girl, cool girl. But she decided to keep the kid, and the dude wants nothing to do with the kid, but she just decided to keep the kid.
Wow.
But it was funny because, like a few days later, I'm back in Florida, and my cousin calls me up, and he's like, that chick can't stop talking about you. And I was like, well, that's great, dude. Did you tell her, like, he's like, no, she's not looking for a boyfriend. No, she just had a kid. But in my head, I'm like, oh man, I got to be prepared for this, because this is probably what I'm going to have to come across, is a bunch of this shit. Like, I feel like that's what I'm going to have to deal with, because let's be realistic, man. I'm 34. I'll be 40 before I know it. What am I going to do? Date 25-year-olds? I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't think I can do it. So I'm kind of like, I'm going to have to date, someone who's 30 or, around my age-ish, preferably 3 to 5 years younger than me. But I'm like thinking about it.
I'm going to give you a pro tip. Try a girl a little older. You might be surprised.
Oh, I've done it. I've done a long-term relationship with a chick 5 years older than me. Single mom. And that's why.
There you go.
But it was out of sight, out of mind, single mom. It was like, I didn't see the kid. The first year and a half we were together, never even met the kid. Didn't even think it existed. And then one day the kid was at the house, and the kid was 12. And so when you're 12, you're pretty smart at that point, or at least I was, or I thought I was. And, but I remember that moment. I said, this isn't going to work out. Like, I was just like, this is never going to work. But anyways, DB, I appreciate you calling in, man. Want to keep this party moving.
Thanks, man. I enjoyed the show. Keep it moving, bro.
Hey, keep killing it. If you ever see me out in the streets, come on up, bro. We'll kick it.
I'm going to do it. Have a great one.
You too. All right. Cool guy. All right, we got $5 from Bing Bong. Big Bong's on a roll tonight. This dude's just got cheddar just flying out of his ass. Thank you. I really appreciate that. He goes, the people oppressing us profit from keeping us dumb, poor, and sick. Vegans remind you that your moral compass is broken. That's why you hate them. Yeah, he's got a point about the people, profit us. Yeah, keeping us dumb, poor, and sick. Yeah, makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world. But like I said, man, the vegan thing, it's almost like people think you're nuts if you try it. And I'm not vegan. I try to eat mostly whole foods, but it's fucking difficult. I've been institutionalized. Organic Thug, that's my boy right here. We've been internet buddies for a cool decade now. What's up, brother? He goes, grow food. Can live without a lot of things. You need food and water. Most areas you could find water and purify. Hard to always find food. Grow that sheet. Yeah, that's, you know what? I'm going to get into that. I wish I had a yard. I don't have a yard. I guess you can grow food on like your porch, maybe. Just get a couple of planters, couple pots. I did have a jalapeno bush once. That was really cool. It died though, because I forgot about it. But it was cool to be able to just go get some jalapenos. Got another $5 from this guy. Real quick, who's going to be next? I don't see 91. 91, you're not there. Oh, 91, you're coming on next. And then I see you guys up in here. Who's been waiting a while? Jute, you've been waiting a while. You're going to come on after him. And then I'm going to get a 3-way going with a couple of regulars. All right. He goes, I'm retiring this year at 49. Wow, nice. Been vegan since the 90s. I follow logic and kindness, not the herd. Moral clarity helped me spot the bullshit. Hey, man, this guy seems to be retiring at 49. You know, not an easy task to pull off. Not at all. So congratulations on that. We got 5 books from Antone or Antony. Goes, leave the cities and join rural communities. It's the only way to escape the hellish future. Yeah, I've been talking with a couple of friends. I feel like I'll probably end up moving somewhere up north or some shit. But I still like the action, you know. Maybe if I'm close enough to where I could jet into the city, you know, cool little 30-minute, 40-minute drive. I don't know, just kind of be far enough out, but not too far. Because I do like to have fun, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess define fun. All right. Haley Johnson with the 20 big ones. He goes, I am a carnivore and have friends that are vegan. Yeah, no, it's all good. Eat whatever the fuck you want. Like I'm eating shit. Like, who cares? I'm just saying it would be funny though if we go our whole lives thinking things are this way, but really it's supposed to be the other way. It's just something to think about. I'm just saying. Who knows? All right. 91 D Gross, you're coming on, brother.
Hey, what's up, Jack?
Chilling out, man. We hear you loud and clear. So, how old are you and where are you calling from?
So, I'm 33. I'm actually calling from Riverside, California.
Oh, Riverside. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Riverside. Okay. I see you. Well, I lived
Yeah.
out there, so I'm familiar with all the little nooks and crannies because of skateboarding. So I'd be, you know, all over the
Yeah.
map. So
Oh, dude, you're
I'm familiar with all those little ins and outs and these little like off towns and shit.
For sure. You're so nice on the board too, bro. I follow you on Instagram. You posted a video like a week ago. You're just like hitting the pipes and you're just fucking shredding it, bro.
I still got the skateboarding, man. I know I'm older guy at the skate park, but you know what? I'll show these kids what's up. I go, look, this is how Papa does it.
Bro,
This is how
same here. I
Papa
say,
does
man,
it.
if you can fucking bust out a kickflip, bro, like, you know, today, which I can still do anytime I get on the board, it's like that's pretty fucking good. But you can do you're fucking 3-flipping, fucking like off the fucking pipe and shit. Like, dude.
Hey man,
so
I was trying to go pro. Guys, I was on Tony I made it on Tony Hawk's YouTube channel. Okay. I've been in a magazine. You know, I reached a certain point. I just wasn't good enough to actually get paid for doing it. You know, like I was better than most people, but I wasn't good enough. It's kind of like playing college ball compared to pro ball. So I was playing college ball. So I was like kind of there. I'm glad you brought that up though, because I know like a lot of times we could talk about all this negative stuff. But I just want you guys to know, like I'm still out here watching comedy movies at night. I still hang out with friends. I still go to the skate park. You know, live your life. It's nice to know that I could come here and, you know, joke around with what's going on in the world. And you got like a lot of people think the same way I'm thinking. Not identical. I know we're not going to agree on everything. I get that. I say some crazy shit sometimes. I get it. And to be fair, I don't agree with everything you guys say either. But it's cool. I love it. It gives me another perspective. So anyways, so what's on your mind tonight, my man?
Man, a few things. I'm like, you know, I'm pretty wild up here, but I do want to first thank you for sending me $100 a while ago, man.
You're no problem. No problem.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
No, it was huge, man. That you saved me from the occult of feminism that's on the rise right now. Like, I don't know if that's
how did we do that? I want to know.
Yeah, dude. So long story
if you don't
short,
mind,
man,
if you don't mind.
No, I'd love to, bro. This might piss a lot of people off, but I'm just saying how it is. But like, definitely feminism is a real thing. And I'm not anti-feminist, you know, it's like, how would I put it? Am I for women having equal rights?
Wait,
before
before you possibly piss people off, I heard somebody say this recently on a YouTube channel. It was genius. He said, men created feminism, women created the red pill movement. He goes, we have each other. Yeah, he goes, he was like, we have each other to thank. So anyways, think about that and go ahead, lay it on us.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I was working this fucking e-commerce customer service job, just doing shit like helping people with like returns or just, the products they bought, something went wrong with it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, just making tickets and sending them off to tech support. That was my job. And I found I found it on Craigslist, I pull up for an interview, pass the interview, and then like the next day they're like, "Hey, you want to start?" Dude, I kid you not, I'm fucking the only guy. I go in there and I'm the only male in there. It's 20 females. Thank God. I mean, I'm not complaining, right? But I mean, this, let me just say this. I should have known from the start, which I did know, but I just wishful thinking got the best of me. If you walk into a place of employment and it's all females working, probably a red flag. I don't know, just saying.
No,
But,
I actually had to quit a job because of that. So I get it. Keep going.
yeah. But long story short, man, like just working with all the females, taking calls, doing my thing. And in between breaks and shit, between calls, like I'm just a pretty social person, so I would start a conversation, but nothing fucking out of the sort. They're pretty young. They're mid-20s, early 20s kind of thing, and just talking to them about just regular shit, I guess. And I don't know. I'm also like, I'm pretty opinionated, I think you would say. And maybe I say things without thinking. I don't know.
It happens. It's cool.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, I get pulled in the office one day from the manager, and she's like, "So Del, I want to let you know, like your assignment has ended here. Just letting you know." I'm like, "Okay." And then she's like, "We've been getting a word from several people that you've been making them feel uncomfortable." And I'm like, "What?" And then she said, "I will say this though, it's not anything related to sexual harassment. Like no one complained about that." So, okay, so then what is it? Well, we can't tell you, but just know that, several people said that. And I'm like, what in the fuck? I ended up getting fired, bro. Like fucking was down and out. Didn't even like have money for rent. I'm fucking like eating beans and rice because of this bullshit. Anyway, all my friends I told about, they're like, "Dude, you should fucking sue, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, right? Because it's like, this is how I see it. It's like, you guys just like took their word. It was basically their word versus mine. You have no idea if they like just three of them decided they don't like me. Maybe I did say something that,
No, that's
struck
a
a
real
nerve.
that's a real thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, and I got fired. They couldn't. And the crazy thing is, they're like, "Yeah, we're not obligated to tell you why or what was said, but all we can say is you made them feel uncomfortable." But that could be anything. It's like I could have fucking said,
Was this a corporate place?
no, it was like a small like startup kind of, not even a startup. It was just like, it was Chinese owned little Home Depot e-commerce website. They sold like all kind of shit online.
I mean, it's safe to say you didn't even want to work there anyway. So
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a hot girl there that like I was kind of into, but like I wasn't like obvious about it or anything. I just chatted with everyone. But
yeah, you
yeah,
just made her.
man.
You just made her feel extremely uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah, I
kidding.
just made
I'm
it.
joking.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, dude, I got fired. It just was like, that was just bullshit. Because the way I see it is, you guys said it wasn't sexual harassment. So what could I have said that warranted me getting fired? So strange.
Yeah, I didn't even get fired, but I almost got fired from a restaurant because a young girl there, apparently she thought I was doing drugs because I went outside to smoke a cigarette. This is back when I smoked cigarettes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And what she didn't know is I didn't apply to this job. The owner called me because she saw I lived back in Florida and asked me if I wanted to come work for them again. So I already worked there. I already know these people. I know the owner. I know the general manager. I know all the bartenders.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bartending and I just waltzed in here. So this
Oh
young
my
girl,
God.
told one of the newer managers, like she thought I was out back doing something weird. And I was like, and I remember that was like one of the first times I quit smoking because I was like, okay, nobody smokes cigarettes anymore. I'm quitting.
Yes.
But I literally couldn't believe it that the newer manager who didn't know me just took this chick's word for it. And I was like, hold on. I was like, well, hold the fucking phone. I was like, well, wait a minute. So, but anyways, that chick ended up getting fired like a couple weeks later because she was, she was fucking with other people's livelihoods, man. If she didn't like you, if she didn't like you, she's gonna, go up to the manager and, because she was all buddy with the lower end manager. But I was like, but I'm buddy with the owner, bitch. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, are you kidding me? I was like, so anyways, but that was a great point is that job, I could make $1,500 a week, $2,000 in a week, working 3-4 days. So to get that pulled from you, that's a big deal, man. You're fucking with just because you didn't like me, or you thought something, you're willing to go and just fuck that person. I don't care as long as I have my job, but what's funny is it just backfired on her because once she tried doing that to the third person, she messed with the wrong bitch. She messed with another chick who's been at this place for 15 years. But she can't possibly know that because she's only been there for 6 months and you're not friendly with these bartenders and because they're older, so they're not really communicating a bunch.
Yeah.
And it's not my job to walk around my job and go, I've been here 7 years. It's not my job to tell you that, like
at all.
Yeah. Like, so I get what you're saying, man. I've been in a couple situations like that. Another situation too, I was working at that TGI Fridays, super corporate.
Oh yeah.
So I was only there like 3 months. And I told them, I said, look, I came here to bartend. You guys aren't letting me bartend. So I'm going to skedaddle. I'm just letting you guys know now. And plus I had a bunch of money saved. That's why I say, if you ever can save 20, 30 grand up, please do it. Okay. It gives you a lot of options to focus on stuff. So, but that was the position I was in. So I was like, look, I'm going to bounce unless I'm a bartender. So there was a bunch of people working there for like 10 years, but since it's corporate, okay, they don't go by seniority or none of that stuff. They go by performance and fair this, fair that.
All that fuckery.
So I ended up getting the bartending position over these other two girls. So let's just say those two chicks, once they finally made it behind the bar, they made my life a fucking nightmare, dude. By like the fourth, what
did they do?
Dude, like, so basically,
he's like, don't get me started.
All right, so imagine this. I'm going to end on this note, and then we're going to keep this party moving. So imagine every day you go into work, your paycheck is a jar that people can reach into.
Yes.
Okay. So every time this girl would clock in, so let's say I'm bartending and I'm 3 hours before you, and then you're coming onto the shift. So she would come onto the shift, and then I have like a certain amount of time to close out and collect tips from people before they can have any access to that money. And it's like a 30-minute window, which is fine because it all comes back around. So what she started doing she would come in and just start closing people out and then taking the tips and putting them in the new jar.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, but you can't keep track of this shit when you have 40 people at your bar. It's a big bar. You can't keep track of this. But it wasn't until maybe the third or fourth time this happened, and I just so happened to watch her do it. So then on every other shift, I would make sure I'm paying attention and watching her do it. So what do I do? Instead of going to management, I go right up to her and I go, look, I don't know what you don't understand about this whole money situation, but if I were to come in here and do that to you, we'd be in HR right now, wouldn't we? We'd be in the fucking office. You'd have a big issue. So I tell her, I go, look, I don't care. We're both here to make money. I go, I'm not going to do that to you. You don't do that to me. That's it. Yes. I go, this is how bartending works. Because
she didn't like that, did she?
No, I was in HR the next day. And I quit a week later. And then they closed down 4 months after that. Yeah.
Oh, karma is a bitch, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
So, but I've been in a situation where one person says something because I confronted her about something she was doing wrong. You're stealing from me.
Yeah.
I confront you about stealing. Next thing you know, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. Dude, that's some fucking chosen one shit, though. How you fucking ended up getting fucked over, but then karma came back around and kicked them in the ass and fucking place shut down. That happens. That's that. Don't fuck with God's people, you know. Don't
Look,
fuck with God's people.
I wasn't living all righteous myself either, dude. It was maybe about a year or two later I was living in a car. So it wasn't like
Dude,
I wasn't
I've been
perfect
there.
either, but I wasn't robbing people. I wasn't fucking shysting people.
Yeah.
I kept it fair, you know, because
you're a
that's
good
what
person. That's what good people do.
That's what you got to deal with, though. It's kind of like when people have problems with like, oh, why can't I get the money? Or like, oh, he's always getting the money. That's your issue. Not like you in general or anybody watching this, but like I noticed that with people when you're willing to go, hey, let's both make 400 each versus I'm making 6. I don't care what you fucking make. Cause that's a lot of people, man. They will cut ahead of you. Like being a good person in today's society is
Doesn't pay off.
It's a rough one to deal with. So it's kind of like finding a fine line, or working with people that are on your same page because I don't know, man. I'm gonna let that go, dude. Restaurant shit. That there's some
it's tough, man.
Shysters.
Dude, you want to hear some shit real quick? Can I say something about a restaurant, dude? Dude, I fucking worked at this place called Soup Plantation, dude. Oh my fucking god.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, it's like all you can eat soup and pizza and all that bullshit.
I've been
cool
there.
Job, bro. Collected mad fucking tips, man. Like almost like I mean, this was back in 2017, 18. I could get like $120 a night maybe on tips, and that was pretty cool. Bought a fucking Toyota Matrix with that bitch that I used to sleep at. But hey, Toyota's fucking they're true to their name, man. They can fucking run.
So what's up with the Soup Plantation place,
dude? Fuck, what was up with that? Sorry,
you was talking about tips.
Oh yeah, so I was working at this place, man, and fuck, what brought us up to this? My bad. You mentioned something.
People stealing money from you.
People stealing money, dude.
All right, well, look, I'm gonna keep this party moving, brother.
But hey, I just want to say real quick, shout out to all the vegans. I'm also team vegan 4 years now.
Hey,
that shit is really different, man. Yeah.
Yo, that shit's hard, dude. That shit's real difficult. That's real hard to do, bro. I commend you because I tried, bro. It's not.
Yo, for the first 3 months, I was having fucking nightmares, like waking up, dude, dreaming of myself digging into steaks and shit.
And then you're afraid, and then you're afraid to tell people you're trying it because everyone roasts you.
Yeah, I don't even really tell people like they end up finding out, but like everyone's talking about it on here. I'm like, yeah,
well, I don't want to offend anybody, and I'm not trying to. That's why I'm saying, like, I eat meat still. You know, like, I'm just saying. Once I tried it for a month, and I would like tell somebody about it, it was like I was insulting them, and I'm like, whoa, dude, like, chill. I'm just trying this new thing. Anyways, I'm gonna let you go, brother.
Hey, good talking to you. Thanks, man. Keep skating, bro. Post some more videos of you skating, man. Those videos are so fucking nice.
Now that I got my legs back, I'll post some stuff for you guys.
Oh yeah, bro.
Man. Peace. Yeah, it took me a while with the skating because I didn't skate for almost a year. I was working 7 days a week. I couldn't do anything. So now that I'm back on my board, I got my my legs back. I was a little rusty. Skateboarding is not like riding a bike. That's why they call it's like riding a bike, and not like riding a skateboard because it's not the same. All right. Clint E, $2. He goes, find a foreign wife for kids. He goes, how do we call in? I'll put the link in there. You can call in if you want. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. More than welcome to dial in. But we still got a good amount of people in here I'm going to get through. So this person goes, I want to get back into skateboarding, bro. I have 2 skateboards sitting in my bedroom. Not the crappy ones you get from Walmart. Yeah, dude, you know what? Like, I highly recommend, because it's funny when I meet a bunch of people. I'm social. I meet people, but people moving to Florida, they're like, what do you do for fun and all this stuff? And I'm like, I don't know. I go to the skate park. Like, so I don't know. I think it's important you have something, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. So it's free, really. I mean, just the board, a board will last you a long time too. So I love it. I mean, if I enjoyed like riding bikes and stuff, I'd probably be riding, do that. Like, I just don't own a bicycle. Maybe I should. But I don't know. I highly recommend something active. It helps me. All right. We got Jute coming in. Jute is the man. All right. We got Jute coming in hot. Jute, can you hear me? He's on mute.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, brother. So, how old are you, and where you calling from, brother?
I'm 27. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and my name's Jate. It's a weird one.
Jate.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's probably not weird from wherever your culture's from. It's probably just normal. Yeah. So it's cool. All right. So, Jute, what's going on tonight, man? You want to chime in on something we've already talked about, or you got something up there you've been thinking on?
Well, okay, so something that I think about. I just found your channel not too long ago. I think it's been about 3 weeks, but something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, and I guess it's in the nature of it, but the only social media that I have is YouTube. I don't have any other social media. I don't have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or anything like that. And I mean, I never really, so how people talk about you get indoctrinated or whatever, and how they're trying to like turn us into people like they have an agenda and all that. I didn't really get a lot of that until YouTube started doing the shorts, and they don't let you get rid of shorts. Like you can't take it off of your, like on the mobile app, there's no
Yeah.
setting to get rid of the YouTube shorts. They used to make it so you can like X out of it, but I don't know if you could do that anymore. And when you first open the app, it's the first thing that pops up. And now that's, for me, that's where a lot of this stuff comes in, like the videos of like those podcasts where they're talking to OnlyFans girls, and
Yep.
like there's all kinds of or like little short videos about, you know, those political people that go to a college campus.
Oh
and,
yeah, there's a lot of those.
yeah, and it's like, oh, like liberals versus conservatives. It's
Yep.
it's all about that. And I mean, I know we got the election coming up and everything, so it makes sense that they're trying to drive us to vote a certain way. But I mean, I got off social media for that reason. Like I was tired of like constantly looking at people like what they wanted you to think they were, instead of, you know, face-to-face interactions and seeing people for like who they are, you know?
Yeah, politics is funny. It's kind of like it's almost like a sporting event. It's almost like you know, like you got your team, you know. It's like you know, this is me talking in like a hypothetical third party situation, but they'll be like, you know, one side's like fuck Trump, the other side's like Joe Biden's a bitch. But it's almost like well, no, I have a video idea. I want to call it like the Trump train or something like that. But it's not like I'm on anybody's team. I really don't trust any of it, to be honest. But like the idea for the video was more, look at the similarities between a championship sporting game and politics. Like it's become like almost like I can't differentiate the two almost, besides they're not wearing jerseys. That's just something I've noticed though. Like I'm not trying to get
Or like
you guys think what you want.
how pro wrestling is, you know, they're all just putting on characters. And so I mean, some people, I've seen theories about how they're all on the same side, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of something like, you know, I don't know if it's true. Remember, guys, I'm just talking out of my ass here. I don't know. Okay. I'm nuts.
Yeah.
But I do look at it like kind of like it's just one big conglomerate, and it's you know, they're all working together. It really doesn't matter who gets what and what gets who. It's all the same. They're on the same team, but like we perceive it like they're not on the same team. That's how I look at it. I could be totally wrong. But you know, we've all ended up here. Doesn't matter what president we had in the past. We're all in this situation right now.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which party was in office. None of that. We're all here. This is all happening right now.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and so I didn't call to just I didn't mean to start talking about politics like that. That's like tricky stuff. But I really wanted to call because something that I've been doing for a long time, and maybe it's just because of how I was raised, but my dad, we used to, like during my summertime when I was a kid, I didn't get to go out and play with my friends and stuff. He would always wake me up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we would go outside and we would like work on cars. You know, he would always,
nice.
they would find, like my dad would find some cheap broken car, you know, like the mechanic specials that you see, and then we would just work on that for a week or two, and then after it was fixed, sell it for a little bit of a profit, you know. And that was like it's like a side hustle, you know. And so now that I'm an adult and I'm like on my own, I do that now, like to this day. I don't have a car payment. I've never had a car payment. I just got credit like a little over a year ago
And how
because
old are you? I'm sorry.
27.
Okay, yeah, you're pretty on par. That's not
Yeah.
odd. Yeah, that's
I
cool.
just feel like some families where their people are more wealthy or whatever, they start credit for their kids. You know, like at 18, a kid is starting out with just like a perfect credit score or whatever. I didn't have that, you know. I never had something like that. And I'm actually kind of grateful for that, that I had to do it all and figure it all out on my own. Because I think if I would have had access to credit when I was younger, I probably would have blew that shit up, you know? Like I would have,
Well,
I
you know what's funny about that is I got credit at like 24, and by 27, just in 4 years, I managed to have extremely bad credit, a
really,
credit score. Yeah, well, you don't you're kind of forced into it. Like, you know, my parents, they taught me a lot. My parents fucking, I'm like way ahead just from having both of them and how they thought, and making me work for everything young. And so I'm grateful for that. But I didn't have like a credit system, you know, so I had to figure that out a little later. But it was just kind of funny how it was like, you know, by 25, I had good credit because I had a credit card for 2 years or a year. And then by the time I was 27 or 28, I have my first repossession, and now I have the shittiest credit there is. And I maxed my, you know, bills all the way up. And the next thing you know, I don't have a job that's paying me good. And I have 2 shitty jobs where I'm making less than I was. And, you know, the first bills you drop, at least for me, was my credit cards and my health insurance. The first bills I dropped. You know, that's just my choice, but those were like the first to go for me. So that, you know, fucked me up. You know, so
yeah,
someone said that before, like, you're not just magically born with good credit. And I'm like, I go, yeah, that's the problem. You know, they force you to have to get good credit. So it's like
well, yeah.
they force you to learn how to go into debt.
Well, then if you use any of the credit
Yeah.
apps, like once your score starts to get anywhere, you'll just get ad after ad for, oh, you can afford, like, look how much of a car payment you can afford right now. You could go and buy a $30,000 car. Ooh, like it's to entice you,
I
you know. And
think I think, and I fell for that too. You know what I mean? Like when I got that repo on that Beamer, the Beamer was only 14 grand. It's a 2007 335i. I won't forget it because I was going to buy the car next to it. I was going to buy the car next to it for 7 grand cash. And I had like, I think I had around like 25 grand in my name at the time. So I could have just bought the BMW outright, but that's like that's, you know, more than half of my money.
can't do that.
So no one wants to do that.
You can't do that.
So I could have just bought the car next to it, which was another Mercury Grand Marquis. I remember it was a 2009. It was nice, low mileage, good car, bad gas, but it was a good car. I had one before, so I liked it. But no, I went with the BMW because it's like, oh, I don't even have to like pay for it all. And just like, here you go. So I've fallen for it before, but I couldn't imagine like just falling for it for like a $50,000 vehicle. You know, you don't even have 50 grand. It's like, oh man, I couldn't. I mean, I guess I could imagine. I can imagine it because it's happened to me, just not on like such a grandiose scale.
Yeah.
You know, like
Not
it's kind of bizarre. It's really trippy shit, man. It really is. It really doesn't make any sense. Just yeah, it's like, oh, you can't afford this? Here you go. Take
well,
it.
yeah. And then with so like a thing that I've been thinking about lately, and a lot of people probably think this is crazy, but I mean, I'm still wanting to buy a house. Like I still want to buy a house.
No,
Like,
it's totally possible. You just might not be able to do it in your area.
yeah, exactly. Or it's just going to be something that's run down. Like I'm looking at this house right now that was built in 1920. And I mean, I know, it's ugly. It needs a lot of work, but I mean, like with my mentality, how I buy cars that are ugly and need work, and then you like the work that you put into it adds the value. Like that's the mindset. You know what I mean?
I totally get what you're saying. I get a lot of comments anytime we talk about houses and shit where people are like, buy a plot of land, build the house. And I just never done that or even like looked into how much that would cost. So that's kind of the only thing I don't have to compare to.
I just
but
don't know
kind of
like where are they selling these plots of land that aren't already like subdivided, you know?
Yeah, that's another issue too. And it's also like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like most of us were like, I don't know. That's like even if we don't say that out loud, that's like a lot of my thoughts when I'm talking with people and people like bring up like real serious stuff like this. I'm just like, I don't even know. How do I do any of that?
Maybe
like what?
That's service right there. That's the business is
yeah, that's why I'm trying to learn. I really am. I'm like, when I talk about this stuff, I'm like, I'm trying to learn this shit. You know, I'm like, at least learn it enough to know like what's kind of going on. You know, at least be able to speak the language a little bit. You know, because it's like foreign shit. Like this guy, this was funny. He goes, Jack Morgan for president. See, here's the problem. If I became president, I'm just going to get blamed for the economy being shit. So it's a double-edged sword. You know, whoever becomes president, there's going to be a lot of fingers pointed at him. You know, unless like Trump really does win and it just everything turns around, I'll be like, I still won't even be trusting him. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, man. You know,
tough.
like not that I don't trust guys. I don't want to upset anybody who loves Trump or loves Biden, whatever. I don't know the guys personally. I don't really care. I'm just saying, to me, it's like kind of whoever ends up in office. It's always the same shit. It's kind of like, all right, well, good luck with whatever happens because we're going to be pointing our fingers at you.
Yeah, like are the gas prices going down? If not, you get them out.
And the reason I said that, like, if I was, you know, to become, I'm never going to become president. I do not want to. But if I were to become president, the only reason I say that is because I don't think that one person is making all the decisions. So therefore, I feel like I wouldn't even be making most of the decisions. I'm just the guy on the front lines talking the shit, giving the speeches, you know. That's how I look at it. I could be wrong. I could be totally tripping.
Well, so I work full time. I do like 50 to 60 hours a week. And then I've also been, and this is another topic of discussion, is like school. I also go to school full time. And it's like, if you have any ambition to be like a entrepreneur or anything, or like do your own business kind of thing, what's even the point of going to school? You know, it just doesn't make any sense. It's like
here's what doesn't make any sense. So one of my best friends is an electrician, and all the time he's been doing it a long time now. Like he knows what the fuck he's doing. But like we were out and about. I was playing golf with him recently. I did 18 holes. It was a lot of fun. But the two dudes they was talking. They're both in the same field. And they're like, well, why don't? He's like, well, man, we could start our own company. He's like, yeah, but if I start my own, but if I start my own company, I have to go back to school because I can't get this license without this certificate and this degree and this shit.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And he goes, I know. He goes, and that's why I've had the same job for 11 years. And he's moved up in the job, but it was just kind of crazy. And I'm like, well, okay. I was like, so this other guy we know, Phil, right? Cool ass guy. And I was like, well, how the fuck did Phil start his own company? Because I was going to hire this dude to come help do some shit at my house. And he was like, well, Phil started his company because anytime he does a big project, he goes to his friend who has the license and has the certificate. And then they join and they partnership. And I was like, okay, so you mean to tell me every time this guy gets a big job, he has to go get another man and put him in and cut him in? And he was like, yes.
Wow.
I was like, oh, dude, what a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare. I don't get it. There's too many like rules and shit in play. Like, for instance, same guy, he was going to do a side job, spent 3 hours in these people's house, going in their attic, out of their attic, to their backyard, checking their AC, back in the attic, coming back down. So he quotes them and they're like, well, why is this so cheap? It's half the price of all these companies. And he's like, because I'm not with my company. You called me from another guy who referred you to me.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we can't do it if you don't have insurance. And he was like, well, I don't have insurance. And they're like, oh, well, we're just not going to be able to do it. And he was like, oh my God. He was like, I can't even cut the price in half. So it's a $2,400 job. He quoted him $1,200. And he's like,
And
I can't even quote these guys half the price because they're a company. So they're hiring another company. So now they're worried about their company, their insurance, because you don't have insurance.
the legality.
I know. I was like, bro, I was like, dude, it's beyond me at this point.
Yeah, that's
You know,
tough.
like
I
I know
mean-
there's certain shit though you could get into where you don't need any degrees, none of that stuff. But I was like, bro, it's this, you're an electrician, you know? Like I'm thinking to myself, this shouldn't be that difficult. Like, it shouldn't be that difficult, man.
I'm in the roofing industry. I'm a crane operator right now. So like I have a pretty good job, but I've had ambition. I mean, I'm 27. It first started off when I was 18 years old. I was door knocking in Virginia. I was doing door-to-door sales for a roofing company. And so ever since I did that, I mean, that had to have been the most intense thing I ever done. Like, and it was when I was 18 because I got kicked out of the house. But just like being out there one-on-one with the customers, like sales that's the lifeblood of make money.
Of course.
So I've always had ambitions of like starting my own roofing company, like doing something like that and just contracting jobs. But then it just feels like that naturally veers me off of the course of going to school, you know? So just like, that's one thing that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. I mean, obviously a lot of people are struggling with a lot of stuff, but I think there's people out there that don't know what to do also. Like
I've been there, man. I was like literally sitting there 30 years old. Like, well, no, it was 31 is where I had like a huge epiphany, as if I hadn't had 20 before that. But like I was 31, my resale business, it was doing good, but I was like, I don't want to do this forever. I'm capped out. I don't see myself doing this for a lifetime. And that's when I was like, okay, well, the only thing I'm good at is, or pretty great at, is talking with people. So it looks like that's going to be my route. But I remember just sitting there and being like, I'm like working this bar job. You're 31. When you're 27 bartending, pretty fun. 31 bartending, not so much fun. So I just remember being there just like, what am I going to do? I literally was like considering HVAC, air conditioning stuff. I was like considering so many different things, and all of the things I was looking into, I was like, I'm not going to school. I can't do it. And so I tried, I knew an HVAC guy that came to my bar. I was like, hey, like, what's the deal with this? Like, you could pay me dirt cheap, I'll, learn on the job. And he was like, unfortunately, he's like, you're going to have to go to school. Yeah. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, you don't have to, but like, if you want to do this long term and like actually do it for real and not have any issues, you're going to have to go get the certificate. And I was like, fuck. Everything I looked into was like certificate. And I was just like, why? I don't get it. I don't fucking get it.
Even with being a crane operator, I had to go to school, but I got lucky that like the company I was working for, they were able to like send me to school, and even with that,
that's what they said. They said, you could come work for us. We'll pay for you to go to school, but you're gonna have to finish it if you want to work for us long term. And that's when I was like, damn, man. Cause I was like, I'm just that kind of guy. I'm like, I know myself too well. School's not going to work out for me. It's not going to work out. It's just not. It's not going to happen. I can't do it. I can't. I can't do it. But anyways, man, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I'm gonna keep this moving. And
right,
sounds like you do. It sounds like you're gonna be just fine, bro. Keep doing your thing, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Cool dude. I like this guy. All right, man. We got $5 from Jeremiah. Tim Pool is also an awesome skateboarder. Yeah. I was actually surprised because like when you look at him, we could judge books by the cover. So when I like first saw him and I heard he was a skateboarder, I was like, I don't know, bro. And I saw him skate and I was like, he's actually pretty good. All right. Thank you for the $5. We got $10 from Yoli Guacamole. What's up, girl? He goes, if you're talking about Twilight Zone stuff, I swear on a stack of Bibles that I came face to face with a demon. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I wouldn't doubt it at all. I've been on Skid Row before. I saw somebody comment about Skid Row. That was one of the first times I was like walking around and I was like, yo, this is like some apocalyptic shit here. You know, it really did feel kind of eerie, really strange. I know I shouldn't have been walking around Skid Row, but I don't know if you guys know who Trevor Wallace is, but he's pretty big. I'm sure you've probably seen him by now. He's big time comedian. But back then he had like 10,000 followers, and now he's like 5 million. But I remember going to a underground comedy show on Skid Row in an abandoned building. And that's when I walked through Skid Row for the first time. So that's why I was wandering around Skid Row. All right, who do we got here? Who's all up in this bitch? All right, so Doug and Mark, I'm gonna save you guys for a little bit here. All right, I'm gonna bring Bronson. All right, we're gonna go Bronson and Neo Moses. We're gonna do a 3-way call with y'all. All right, so we're gonna do one at a time, and then we'll do Doug and Mark after that, and then we're gonna wind shit down here. Sorry for everybody waiting for so long in the queue. Okay. All right. All right, Bronson, you coming on, and Neo Moses, you're coming on. We're going to do a little 3-way. All right, don't take it the wrong way. All right, I'm going to start with Neo Moses. Neo, how old are you, and where are you calling from, brother?
31 from Dallas, Texas.
All right, and then Bronson, I remember you from last week, but just for the new viewers, how old are you, and where are you calling from?
25, and I'm in Jacksonville, Florida.
All right, so we're going to let Neo we're going to let Neo set the tone for this. So what's percolating up here, man? What's going on with you?
Hey, man, I think we're in this serious time, and I wanted to ask you a question. I just came up on your show, and I was like, let me tune in to see what you can relate to this type of topic I have in mind. What I was thinking about was the dating scene in America, which I'm pretty sure we're all aware of. It's pretty much going down like a dumpster fire right now. In most cases, every man is, like, we can be honest, we're starving for relationships. And the whole new thing that's now coming up, which has been happening for years in the past, which is traveling across abroad and meeting other women. And I wanted your take on that because I've noticed that, a lot of popular places are getting overrun and they're starting to become more Americanized because our culture is more so having more people run there and it's getting too mainstream to people to know about the same place. And it's like, well, if everybody keeps going there, it's going to be more westernized sooner or later because they want to make it more like America. And I want to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I actually heard there's this rapper guy, Russ. He said something really great one time. I thought it was awesome. He said, he was like, the internet is raising kids. He goes, so he's like, before he was like somebody from London would come over to America and it's going to be kind of, totally different wavelengths. But he's like, now the England guy and the American guy were being raised by the same kind of things through the internet. So it's almost like the guy from Georgia and the guy from Cali, if they were to meet up in Texas, they're like the same guy. It's all the same shit. So I kind of see what you're saying. Like, and especially if we're going over there for real, and like actually going over there, then all those people are going to catch on. And then on top of that, they have access to the internet. They're not stupid. I haven't traveled abroad yet, but the people that every time I talk to somebody from another country, all the American TV shows, that's their TV. So it's almost like it's already there. So like the Sex and the Cities, the Friends, the fucking Seinfelds, all that shit. Most other countries, America's been running that. So it's almost like it's already there.
Media.
Yeah. And I agree with you, dude. I am one of those guys. I am. Like, I'm not afraid to say it out loud. Like, I'm one of those people who, I want a relationship. I want a chick that I could trust and be with and not have to fucking worry about it. And like, I don't like playing the field. I've done it. It's exhausting.
Yeah, it's draining. Yeah.
And then I have to, get comfortable with you again. And the next thing you know, it's like we're 3 weeks in, and then next thing you know, I got to get comfortable with another girl again. And it's like, how many times do I got to fucking do this? And I'm with you on that. I'm one of those guys. I'm one of those fucking hopeless romantic dudes. And maybe I'm brainwashed, but that's just how I am.
Yeah, I think passport bros are necessary for good and for the good side and the bad side, because it's gonna be both sides in that same mindset. I'm not into that they call it you know, X you can, I don't know if you can say the word sex
Say it.
tourism. That's a thing now, and I'm not for that. I'm a religious Christian believer, but I'm more focused on marriage and that mindset because I believe in that, and I don't want to get divorced in America, and they incentivize that here. And I've been told by other guys who come back to America with their girls, they change from the culture, and now they're losing everything, and now they got to start over. It's like crazy when I see that. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm actually kind of scared to get married. I almost kind of want to just get someone and be like, well, I hope they're down to ride it out for the long term because I really don't want to do any paperwork. What about you, Bronson? What's your thoughts on it? You're a young buck. You're young. What's your thoughts on
I've
like?
seen a lot. I know that.
What's your
The
thoughts
dating
on?
scene.
Yeah, what's your thoughts like a long-term relationship for you? Like, oh, be honest about it. Let's like your
I
initial
got
instinct. Like,
yeah, I got a lot on my mind right now. So I actually just got out of a long-term relationship. Was with the same girl for the past 5 years. We grew apart, so it was just kind of like a mutual decision thing. But yeah, the dating market's definitely very tainted, I would say. You need to avoid all of the online bullshit for the most part, I would say, like Tinder and all the social media. You're not going to really find a quality person. I mean, you can, but it's hit or miss. Definitely want to just like go and do things that you enjoy, find people that are similar, like-minded. But I have an interesting story. I'm going to be
lay it on us.
I'm going to be seeing a chick that is from the UK a little bit. She's actually an OnlyFans creator, so I'm curious how this is going to go. But it's a first for me. But man, I've been both of you are just like nope.
Both of us are just like. I mean, hey, if it's just for, hey, look, I get it. If you just hitting and quitting it, whatever, man.
No,
I get it.
so
I get
I'm
it.
moving. Yeah. I'm moving from Jacksonville in a month. I'm going to Orlando, and she's just visiting the States. She's gonna be Audi 5000. But no, it's not like 1 through 1,000 dudes kind of OnlyFans chick. She does like solo stuff, but still, it's just kind of like
Yeah, she's just in there playing duck duck goose with their dicks and
yes,
stuff. I get it.
essentially.
I get it.
Yep.
Sugar daddy's funding something.
Oh yeah. No, definitely. I don't because bro, she's been trying to get me to give her money and shit, and I'm just like polar opposite, just like nah, fuck you.
She asked for pounds. How much pounds she asked you for it?
She's to this point now though, where she's like, oh, I want to meet you. Like she's interested because I'm not giving her attention, so it's funny. But she seems like a cool person, so I'm gonna see how it goes. Maybe I'll have a follow-up story in a week or two.
Hey, you know what? What's crazy is before OnlyFans really got jumping, I had 2 neighbors, and I would give them rides to the strip club once in a while because they were strippers. But that was the first time I heard about like seeking arrangements where like people would just pay chicks to go on dates and all that. And then obviously you probably get more if you do the rest of the stuff. But it was like kind of like anyone could be an escort now. This was before OnlyFans. And I remember they were like filling me in, and I was so like, I was like, wait, I was like, hold on. I was like, you mean to tell me you just made $300 and got a free meal to go out with a 55-year-old man? She goes, yes. And I go, oh, man. Next thing you know, the entire apartment complex, there was like 5 different chicks that lived in there. All of them were doing it. And I was like, and I remember just going, oh, my God. And now with the OnlyFans shit, I'm just like, oh, my gosh, just going. I'm like, oh, dude, I knew it was bad then. But anyways, keep going, Bronson.
Oh, yeah, the money, dude, on OnlyFans, that shit's crazy. So she's 22, just turned 23, and this chick has been all around the world, like paid for by herself to travel.
Sheesh.
She owns a place on the beach, like her view is the beach. It's fucking mind-boggling to me. It really is. It's got me thinking, though. I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I can make something lucrative out of this, but we'll see. It's
Maybe
pretty,
I gotta just, but that's kind of like, I see where like Neo was going, is like, I know that it's that's like this whole thing. I don't care if like everyone's doing it, everyone's
Mhm.
doing it. It's just kind of it's not good because
Morals.
someone like me who wants a relationship, like, bro, I mean, I could look past a lot of stuff, man. I'm not
Oh yeah, no,
perfect.
no, no.
I've done some things, I
Serious.
get it. But at the same time, like, it's one thing if a chick's had sex with like 10 dudes, whatever. Okay. I really don't care. But when you've had sex with 50 dudes or you're fucking having sex on camera on the internet for strangers to see, that's just something I can't really look past, like I just can't.
Nobody.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like I would have to be in that business for me to be cool with that. So that's kind of the issue. And then on top of that, how many people, let's say I meet a chick, let's say I meet a girl, she's great, she's wonderful. How honest is she going to be with me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid to lay it all out on the table and tell you all the shit I've done because I don't want anything coming back up later down the road. That's just how I roll. I'm going to tell you all the gnarly stuff. Just get it out of the way. And if you're cool with that, we can proceed. That's just how I roll. Because one relationship I was in, it was like 6 months in, and then they found out I had gotten a felony, and then they had found out all this other stuff. So from that relationship on, I just make sure I get it all out of the way.
Yeah.
But like, how honest is this person going to be with me? You know what I mean? Like, because I don't know if I'd have it in me to be like, tell my spouse like, well, I did porn for like 5 years. So
It's funny you say that. I've had better conversations with ladies in South America who either from Brazil or Colombia, the most infamous one that's been getting the most attention. It just seems like they're more understanding of you versus here. The judgment is super high. It's like you want this type of man in America where, the thing I've always wondered is why did they get this mindset? And it's from the culture, like you said, Bronson. It's because they're getting this free access. It's because culture is giving them this ego inflated mind that now makes them believe, well, I can do no wrong. I'm forgiven. I mean, and even I'm giving the church perspective because I don't think we're that different as men, even though we may not see the same beliefs. But I think for the men, we're relating to this because we're seeing it happen in the religious side where more are feminists in the church and men are leaving and we're checking out too. And I'm like, I'm not letting go of my faith. I'm checking out because I'm tired of the same thing. They're trying to make us wife single mothers. I'm not wifing a single mother. I'm not wifing somebody who is formerly OnlyFans because I'm not taking it. It's not going to work for me. I don't care how many times you say Jesus forgives you. It's not for me. And it's so much craziness here. I work for the federal postal service. I'm getting out of this country with my passport to get somebody outside. If anything, I'd rather move out there and not bring them back here because it's just too risky how your estate could be at risk with your money. I love America, but it's not going to happen for my family out here because this place is getting out of control. What can we do?
No, you 1,000%. I trust me, I get it. And I don't want to be like real quick with the single mom stuff. I know shit happens. I know dudes bounce. I get it. People die. I understand that. But tell me if I'm tripping when you guys were both like, no, this is my mindset. See, if I go and date a single mom, all three of us go and date a single mom, that makes it, we just normalize it even more.
Yeah.
So the more you keep normalizing it, the more it's going to keep happening. Just like I'm going to say, I don't give a fuck. It's safe to say there's probably the most amount of gay people there's ever been, ever. Okay. Therefore, there's going to continue to be more and more gay people because there's more and more gay people. So if there's more and more single moms, it's safe to say everyone else is doing it. She did it. I was raised by a single mom. So now that keeps going up and up and up. And then here's the downside. Let's reverse it. Right. So with dudes, okay, not most dudes aren't just out here being able to have sex with any chick they want. That's not how this works. Like, at least not for me. Okay. Like, I've been with a decent amount of women, but that's only because relationships have failed and I had to find a new woman. I would have just stayed. The last girl I was with, I could have stayed with her forever and ever and shit. I don't care to go rack it out and like, oh, I've had sex with 87 bitches. Like, I don't care about that. And most men, that's impossible for them unless they're paying for it. That's like impossible, dude. Like for a lot of these guys, that is so hard to obtain. To obtain 20 women that you had sex with in today's age, being just a regular Joe, that shit ain't. It's different for women. Any woman, most women. All right, hold on. I know women can have hard times too. All right, let's not be insensitive here. But like a chick who is a 5 can get way more dick than I could ever dream of getting, if pussy wise for me. But like she could get way more than I could even possibly think about getting. That's kind of the problem with it. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. But then again, you could look at it too. It's like, well, my parents got divorced. My parents got divorced. My parents got divorced. My parents got divorced. So then all of a sudden, divorce is just totally normal. It's all good. It's fucking normal. Like if you don't get divorced, you're abnormal.
In the Philippines, they don't even let you do that there like that. They have to have a good reason for the woman to say, why is she leaving? You can't just leave. You have to work it out. Here, they like, oh, you don't like them? Okay, sign the papers. You're good. You can go ahead and file out and you're good. And you get half the money. But that's incentivized. But I was going to also add on what you're saying. The dating scene, and I'm just speaking on Dallas, Texas for the most part. I've been there for 8 years. 8 years. And this is crazy. I'm 31. And I remember I'm a Bronson's age. I came here at 23 in Texas on my own from Minnesota. Why I have been there for 8 years, and I'm being honest with you, I've been checking out women from the internet. I reached out in person. I've been to events. I mean, my total amount of women, I'll share you with this real quick, is how many I've dated in Texas. And just my experience. Okay. 5 women in dates. And so far, I have more flakes than I have been in relationships with than I have in dating that called it off. And it's because it's not culture, but it's more so they're not sure what they want. And that's because I'm seeing this common theme. And it's like you said, start over again. It's like, dude, we went on, we were calling a date and you didn't tell me you weren't going to go. Just tell me. Why would you just tell me last minute and flake on me? But that's just me. But like I said, 5 dates in Texas. And it's not because I'm not super attractive. I'm not going to lie, but I'm honest and I'm sincere about my choices. I want to meet you and let know you. But I'm just speaking on my experience. 8 years in Texas. I've had that many dates. Like you said, more girls have more sex than men.
Yeah.
So
people will say that shit, you know, like I'm like roughly 6 foot, you know, I'm not like the bulkiest guy, but I'm lean. Okay. You know, like I'm pretty decent. Like I haven't had too many issues. Like it's been fairly easy in the grand scheme of it for me, but it's been nowhere near easy. Like I worked in the places I've worked in areas where like the average dude is like 6'3". I can't compete with any of these cats. Like no fucking way. Like, so I've seen that other side of the coin too, where I'm just like, I may as well be 5'4". You know what I mean? I may as well be like, and it's fucked up to even say that, but that's how it feels. You know, when I have a chick, I've had this said to me probably upwards of 20 times in my life. How tall are you? And I'm like, like 5'11", 6 foot with shoes on, you know, just tell them what they want to hear.
Yeah. At this point.
Wait, but I've had this reaction like 20 times probably. That's okay. That's a pretty good height. It's like, I'm like, this is what I got. This is what we got to deal with. You know, I'm like, this is, which I get it. Like, yeah, you're nowhere near as fine as I want you to be. Is that what you want me to tell you? Your tit to ass ratio ain't cutting it for me, baby.
Yeah, how much do you weigh?
like Kevin Samuel said, what's your rating?
Yeah, but that's just kind of how I feel. But then I'm also dealing with we also deal with the aspect of like it's like for instance, at least for me, I don't know about the guys watching, but like most men that I know, we let so much stuff slide. We let so much stuff slide. We look past too much stuff. But for my encounters with the women I've dated, it's amazing the stuff I let slide that, you know, you one little hiccup on your end, end of the world. End of the fucking world. And I'm sitting here like, yo, there's been like 7 times that I was thinking to myself, should I break up with her because of this? And then all of a sudden, like I do one little mistake. But they know that they could, but they know that it's like they could go get someone, no problem. They don't even fucking give a shit. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they do, because I do have a couple of ex-girlfriends that still reach out to me. So maybe they do regret it. But I'm just saying. Anyways, the dating stuff's getting out of here. I'm gonna let both you boys go. I got a couple more cats I want to get in here, wind this down. But
Thanks, man.
yeah, hell of a talk. Appreciate you calling in. Neo, definitely whenever you go out of the country, definitely pop back in the future. And Bronson, let us know about that OF chick. I want some follow-up stories on this stuff.
Go to Thailand, Neo.
Oh yeah, trust me. I've
Watch out for the lady boys.
Oh
The
no, I'm
Bangkok
not worried.
Bandit.
I'm not worried about that, man. That's like, you can't read a woman, then you got a problem.
All right, boys.
Peace, man.
God, wild shit. All right, we got Landluber with the 10 big ones. Jack, have you seen Idiocracy? Yes, I just recommended that movie in the last video I posted, and I actually just watched it after that same night that I mentioned it. Yeah, he goes, you have to watch it. The future was predicted 18 years ago by Mike Judge. Yeah, guys, it's a funny ass movie. It's really funny, but it's scary. It's like on point, kind of scary on point. You just have to watch it. It's fucking a wild movie, and it's funny. It's a little retarded, slapstick. So, but it's pretty on point with the stuff that they have in there. They really do predict the future pretty well. All right, we got Doug and actually we're gonna do Doug and Mark. I'm gonna do a power one with you guys, and then I got Clint and Frank coming on last, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. We got Doug coming in, and we got Mark. So real quick for the new people watching, Mark, how old are you, and where are you calling from?
45 from Erie, Pennsylvania.
All right, my man. And Doug, for the new people watching, how old are you, and where are you calling from?
56 from Texarkana, Texas.
Hot damn, hot damn. All right, so Mark, you called in last week, so I'm gonna let Doug take it away on this one. So Doug,
right.
what's percolating? You got stuff you want to chime in on? You got something you've been really marinating upstairs?
Sure. I got some marination.
Nice.
I guess off your last callers you had there, to kind of piggyback off that, the disposability of men today, or at least average men. A lot of our culture doesn't see us. We're invisible. Women don't see average men. You were kind of talking about that a little bit earlier. It's difficult when you do the right thing, right? You're used for it. So it's tough to try and just be in this world. So my whole thing is, don't be disposable. You're going to have to go out in your life and make your life good for you. I heard an analogy once about men are like islands, girls are like boats. I'm sure you've probably heard that before. And where, as a man, you just have to work on your island and don't get on a boat out in the ocean searching, right? Be the person that attracts people. And if they don't come to your island, then the worst thing that can happen is that you're on a kick-ass island. So.
But here's what I want to chime in. So when I talk about that Sunfest I just went to, that's what it's called, Sunfest. Festival, art, music, good time, overpriced, everything. So, but I was standing there and I didn't dress up for it because I knew it was going to be hot as fuck. So I wore just like a raggedy long sleeve, and I just had I wasn't dressed nice, nothing regular. But me and my boy Nick were standing there, and I was like, let's just stand here for a little bit. I go, watch how many people just walk past us, don't even make eye contact. And we sat there for like 5 minutes, and we were just both like, all right, we're over it. It was like just one guy.
Yeah, he probably had his beard. He's like, hey!
We were waiting for someone to just make eye contact. I was like, watch. I was like, just watch. I was like, because we're both, especially me with him, he's even more, not to say it like this, but he's really average. You know what I mean? Like, he blends in hardcore. So we're both sitting there. I'm just dressed regular. I don't have like the crazy big hair going on. So there's no reason really for anyone to kind of do a double take. But I did notice that. I was like, that's so crazy. I was like, I guarantee you, if I was dressed nicer right now, and I, like just a little bit, it's crazy how that works. It's a real fucking thing.
And sometimes sometimes invisibility can be a power, you know?
Oh,
You
yeah, yeah,
want,
yeah,
as
yeah.
a kid, you wanted to be
Absolutely.
invisible. Well, you know, once you get to my age, I'm invisible to most people, unless I'm getting their parking spot or something, you know?
That's fucked up, actually, that you said that, because my grandfather said that to me maybe like 15 years ago. I want to say he was maybe 75 at the time. He lived till 92. So yeah, but he said that he was like, once I turned 60, it was almost as if you could kind of get away with anything almost.
It's
But he was saying he was invisible. I see
the
Mark
magic power.
shaking his head. Mark, you want to chime in on that, don't you?
Oh my gosh. Actually, oh man. I'm gonna let him finish that because I might go on for a minute. But I like where he was going with it because it reminds
Yeah,
me of my dad.
Doug, carry on, brother.
Come on,
All
brother.
right, you know, but I do work on myself because I got to make my island the best island it can be, and it is. I started eating better just the past few weeks ago. I'm making changes for myself, and since I'm invisible, no one cares but me. So I care about what I do. You know, I mean, I do have my 2 kids; they live with me, and I'm responsible to them. So I have I have to take care of myself.
Well,
But
yeah.
that's what I'm doing for myself, and I'm not making me disposable to anybody. You know,
Oh, that's awesome, because honestly, I really, the past after the last relationship I was in, I really was kind of just like, damn, man. I was like, because the one before her, I broke up with that one, so maybe that was just karma coming at me. Probably not. That girl had it coming, but yeah, I did feel like that. I was like, damn, just like that. I was like, fuck. I was like, just like nothing. No
It's like a
problem.
sucker punch
No
out of
big
nowhere.
deal. No
it
big
is a
deal.
sucker punch.
Yeah, all
I've been
that
sucker punched.
all that I love you shit, be together forever, all the fucking, scheming and dreaming, all that. Like that. Yeah,
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
exactly.
Yeah,
The whole forget about it thing, she did.
and that's the sad thing, how they could easily just walk away just like that. And like you were just saying about making one little mistake and then that cost everything. You know what I mean? What about second chances? And I'm on the theory that, because back after World War II, we brought in all the wonderful German scientists to reprogram society, put in all these ideas, whether it's feminism, more gay. And then you take into the relationships, nobody gave up, nobody quit. It was together forever. And now they started introducing, whether it's child support or, hey, come on, big government, we'll help be your daddy and get rid of the man. And then you throw in the dating apps, social media, the cell phone addiction. I've tried to talk to so many girls in which they had their phone literally inside of them. And I'm sitting there thinking like, wait a second, what are you hiding on the phone that you got to have it up in you 24/7, even at bedtime? They got it, locked away really close. And, those are red flags for me. But I was just thinking of all of that and the demise of the relationship over the past many decades and just seeing where it's gone. And I've seen past shows and other shows where, men are walking away. They're giving up. And like Doug said, working on your personal island. And I love that idea because we as men, or even the women, but I'm just talking specifically about us, we need to work on our own. We need to better ourselves and start to get more stoic with stoic advice and instill that into the head, guaranteed to make us all better. 100%. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, because what's crazy is like, I don't even want to like just talk shit about all women, because I know that it's not like that. Like, I have people in my life that that kind of like adopted parents to me. My fake uncle and aunt. They've been together for fucking ever. 5 kids. My aunts and uncles they're still together this whole time. My grandparents on both sides. Even my parents lasted forever. My mom would have stayed with my dad if he wasn't drowning the family and nearly killing himself on a daily basis with drugs. So like, I know that they're like Yoli Guacamole here. It's like, first time I met my husband, I didn't know how tall he was, didn't know if he had money, was single or smart or funny. I didn't care. And I think they've been together a long time. I talked to her on the phone before. And thank you for the $5. But like, so I don't want to even discount it like that. I just feel like it just can feel impossible. And I'm sure for women, it's probably, you know, women definitely have, because I know dudes that just fucking duck. They, I've even done it. I'm even guilty of, many, many years ago, having sex with somebody with no intention of dating them. So I don't want to say I didn't do that, because I did.
Right.
I did. And I don't care if it was like my surroundings and like, this is what it's up. This is how it rolls. And then I did realize, though, when I did try and just have casual sex, whenever I did say, hey, just so you know, this isn't going further than this, it was usually a 50-50 chance of it not happening. Or there would be like some kind of psycho girl who's like, oh, yeah, you think I can't keep you? Watch. So it was like kind of weird, like, but the ones who would say no, those were like the more good girls, and they're probably all in long-term relationships. And, so it's kind of like you'd see who was like respected themselves or not, or on the same, I guess, mindset as I was, which wasn't the best, but I don't know where I'm going at this point. Thank you, Turtle, for $5. I really appreciate that. So, you know what? Let's get another guy in on this. We're going to go 4-way real quick. We got Clint.
Let's do it.
In. I want Clint. I need Clint's opinion in this motherfucker. Clint, my boy.
Hey. Hear me?
So, yeah. So, Clint, have you? I'm sure you've been listening. What's first of all, how old are you, and where are you calling from, brother?
I'm 38, and I'm also in East Texas.
Nice. A lot of Texans. So, Clint, you've been listening in on this. What's your opinions? What's your status? You single? What's kind of your take on this whole dating issue and people can't seem to keep a relationship together to save their lives?
Yeah, I mean, I can see how it'd be really tough these days for sure. I'm married. As y'all were talking, my wife brought me in some chocolate chip French toast.
Wow!
So I'm currently enjoying that.
He goes, you guys just suck. I'm chilling.
No, I'm very, very lucky. But yeah, it's very tough for, I think, more so for guys these days. I do feel like women sort of live on easy mode right now. I won't say like they've never been mistreated or anything, but I think that historically there's always been an aspect of partnership in a relationship and a marriage that gets totally ignored these days. Looking back historically, it's like life was hard for everybody, and women and men struggled against life together and met the challenges as a team.
Lydia,
I think it's just overplayed the oppression angle, as far as like men were out to get women and oppress them more so. Life was oppressive.
Yeah, that's definitely that one. I keep hearing it, and I'm surprised I keep hearing it, to be honest. It's like kind of like, keep going. My bad.
No, it's okay. I don't know. What do you keep hearing?
Oh no, like I'll hear it because it's like, because I'm a woman in America. I hear that one a lot. No, like a lot though. Like for real.
Yeah, no, it's true, and it's like, what is in America? What does that signify that you're a woman in America?
Not just on the internet, like in person. Like a bunch, and enough times for me to go, wow, another one. Enough times for me to say that.
What's really weird to me is that you have women in America trying to be women from Saudi Arabia on college campuses. It's like they're wearing hijabs and stuff, and it's like, you as a woman in America are one of the most privileged people in the entire like existence of humanity, and it's like sort of just twisting my mind that they don't want to become Islamic, and but they're just putting on this show to just hit on the head over and over again about oppression, and pointing out any point at which they're like their public enemy number one, which is, I guess, white men or whatever, has been oppressive at some point. And it's like, oh, colonialism or whatever. But
yeah, I almost feel like some of that stuff's just because it's trendy. Like I feel like some of that's almost like, oh, I don't even think they really mean that. Yeah. It's like just like when we sit here and be like, oh, all women are this. It's like we know that that's not the case. It just can seem that way. You know, like absolutely. I'm not like I haven't like completely given up. You know, I'm like in my you know, I'm going, you know, I'm standing out like a Jim Carrey weirdo at night going, send her to me. You know, looking out into the ether and shit. Okay. I'm not actually doing that, but that's where my mind is, where it's like, you know what? Someone's going to come my way. It's probably going to happen. It's happened before. I'm sure someone's going to waltz into my life because I'm not going to be searching out for it. That never works for me. When I search, it never works. So I don't even bother with dating apps. I don't bother with any of that.
Yeah, it's good to not lose hope because it's like, okay, well,
waste of time.
If I were raised by single parents, that becomes the norm or whatever. It's like, but actually being raised by two parents is demonstrably better and leads to better outcomes. And so if you say, like for me, I was raised in like my parents got divorced when I was 8. And I can see ways that has hurt me. And so I'm more determined to not get a divorce than I think my parents were because they were sort of playing around with it. They didn't take it real seriously.
Yeah, because the chances are their parents probably didn't get divorced, so they don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, and that's another thing too. Like, you know, most people I know, all my friends, besides just a couple uncles and aunts, all divorced parents. So, you know, for us, it's kind of like when just one of my friends has not divorced parents, we're like, wow, good for you. But I think it's also kind of gives a little fear too, at least for me. Because I'm like, damn, I'm like, what if I'm with someone 20 years and they just, you know, up and skedaddle? And what if they're not as nice as my mom was? My mom didn't take all my dad's shit. She actually helped them, you know, because he needed help. And I think about that. I'm like, oh man. So now I have to find a girl who not only do I think will she be a good mother, but also will she treat me correctly in a divorce settlement? And that's an odd thought to have.
Yeah, it takes some blind faith to just go for it if you feel like you have a connection, you know, and that's why I was leaning towards looking in other countries because there are still cultures that are traditional and have traditional values. And there's not, I'm not saying to like, I don't know, we do live in a survival of the fittest world, whether we like it or not. And, you know, men are, I won't say replaceable, but there will always be a more fierce competition among men for partners, just because of the leverage that women have in that marketplace.
Yeah, I got Frank popping in here, not to cut you off, Clint, but Frank, I saw you waiting in there. You're the last of the Mohicans.
Saying, basically just, I know it seems cruel to go overseas and like take their women or whatever, but it's a hard world and you got to play to your strengths. So it's really up to the woman still to decide.
Oh yeah, it's always up. It's always up to the woman. I wanted to hear. I saw Frank. Frank's the last guy. We're ending on you guys. This is the finale of the show. Frank, you've been listening to everything going on. What's kind of your 2 cents or something you might want to add to this conversation?
No, I had the same problem with. I'm 59 years old, and I was with the girl for 17 years. I helped raise her child. We met at work. She was my manager, and she got a divorce, and we were best friends. And I ended up moving in with her. We bought a house together, helped raise her daughter. Every year she kept telling me, we'll get married next year. We'll get married next year. We'll get married. And I stayed with her because I'm not a guy that wants to break up with someone. I stayed in a relationship. I loved her. And she eventually dumped me. So like you said, the woman held all the cards, and she's a good person. I think she liked that I had money for a house and I could help her daughter out and her. And then eventually she dumped the whole relationship. So all those years that I could have been with someone else, and it sucks. Today, how do you meet somebody? You meet them at work, and all the people I work with, they're girls that are pretending to be guys, or guys pretending to be girls, and it's hard to meet someone today. But I was going to say, like, the reason I really called in is for people trying to stash up on money. I'm a curious.
Oh, we're losing him. We're losing him. Frank, stay with us. Oh shit, he's been waiting in here the longest too. I get him in, and now he's cutting out.
Everyone can stash up on money.
That's fucked up. Well, anyways, we're gonna end the whole dating talk right there. I think it's just kind of, it's safe to say it's risky as fuck. I mean, that's just kind of, sucks because like Doug and I know Mark, Clint. Do you have any kids?
No, I don't, unfortunately, but we're working on it.
All right. Well, I was gonna say it was kind of like I made kind of a bad joke, but I like kind of said it in the moment. And I said, well, maybe I have to be the bad bitch now. And as long as I get my kid out of it. And, but then when I think about that, it's kind of like, that's kind of fucked up to just think that way. You know, it's kind of like
what you thought about surrogacy.
I don't know if I even want to bother doing all that. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, I'm not that desperate. You know, I would just like to have a kid one day. That's all. Like, it doesn't need to be tomorrow. But I would like to have one. It's just one of those things where it's like, Doug, you're on your own. Mark's one of the few dads out there that's a single dad who has custody. And, you know, it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, you know, is that how I want to, is that how I really want to play the game? Like, just be like, fuck it, as long as I get my kid out of it. You know, like, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's just weird to think that way. It's just all.
I mean, like that's the thought of most sperm donors. I would say is like, well, yeah, you want to try to help somebody out. There's also this biological drive to, you know, that's helped every species survive. But, you know, I was very heavily into church when I was younger. I was raised by a single dad, but he got remarried. Like I said, my parents got divorced. He got custody of me and my sister. But I don't know. I sort of have gotten. I wouldn't say like. I don't know, it's ingrained in me that there's something spiritual about children and having children and a path to like some sort of cosmic greatness or whatever. But at the same time, I look back at all the 19-year-olds that died in World War II. And it's like, those were some of the greatest men to ever walk the earth in my mind, in terms of like their bravery, their devotion to a principle and their willingness to make sacrifice. And they never reproduced. And it's like, I don't believe in judgment of those people just because they didn't reproduce. So there's nothing inherently bad about not having kids.
Okay. Yeah. Like I get what you're saying. I'm not worried about like, I was never worried about that. It was just more along the lines of just being brought up by my parents and like kind of, you know, I saw how much my mom and even my dad, you know, like, so it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, one day I'll be able to be in your position. You know what I mean? And have that same type of kind of just passing stuff along, you know? Like that's how I look at it, whether I had a girl or a boy or whatever their second grade teacher wants them to become, you know, it's kind of like, not to make a joke, but you know what I mean? So, but I look at that like, man, I would like to have a little me running around, even if it's a chick, even whatever, a boy or girl, and be able to kind of pass them on that kookiness that I got. And that
it's in your biology to do that, to be a father. That's what men have.
Yeah.
So it's normal, you know. I think it's a good thing as a man, you can have children in your 50s, 60s, even 70. Women do have a window, you know, so they're forcing it in the window, and they become dudes at 45. You know, they're no longer having kids. So at least we have a longer window.
That's true. You know, I guess I forget that that's a thing. You know, I guess I kind of look at it, I guess short-sighted, I guess you would say that. Like I kind of look at it like, you know, when you're 20 years old, you think 30 is like you're dead. And then when you turn 30, you're like, oh, it's actually pretty young. But like now I'm like going, oh, I'm gonna be 40. And so now I'm looking, you know, we have these ideals, or at least you have these things stored in you where it's like, oh, 50, it's game over. But really, I'm sure by the time you turn 50, you're kind of like, well, I feel pretty good. Or at least, you know,
as long as
yeah.
you feel good, you know, that's what I like I said. And I'm trying to go back to that. I'm starting to work back out again after the pandemic. I stopped a lot of it right there, and I gained a bunch of weight, didn't take care of myself, and I'm bringing all that back. You know, I have to build my island up. So that's what I'm doing. And, you know, so you have a window still for kids, and so you're not behind.
Yeah. I guess I could just feel a little, not to mention my best friend's expecting in October, you know, I'm already a godfather over here. You know, my fake nephew, my godson, he just turned 8, you know, so it's kind of one of those things too. And then my boy Johnny, they just had a kid a few years ago. So now he's getting older, and it's like, he's calling me Uncle Jack and shit. And I'm sitting here kind of, maybe it's just one of those things where I feel like it's the classic thing where like the girl in the group who doesn't have a guy and all her girlfriends are having kids. I feel like I'm that girl, you know, I feel like I'm that person right now where it's like, you know, kind of like, oh shit, you know, like I'm just sitting here still, you know, I'm still at the skate park. You know what I mean? Like if that makes
I'm in my
sense.
50s and I still have friends that get married in their later 40s. Guy just had one that got married here in his 50s, you know, so people's lives continue on. True. So kids are there for, you know, and like I said, men have a much larger window. I don't want to have any more kids in my 50s. I'm, you know, to the point
you're
where
good.
I'm
you
good.
got what you needed. Yeah.
I'm good, but
all right. Well, you know what, guys, hell of a talk. Thank you for the $2 from Chandler here. Boys, I really appreciate you. Clint, thanks for chiming in. You know, Mark. Oh, Mark, do you have anything else to say? I'm sorry, man. I saw you down there for a second.
No, it's all good. I was just gonna stay away from the disgraziata puttanas, disgraceful whores in Italian.
Oh, I'm about to say, what in the shit is that? All right, we're gonna end on that note. I appreciate everybody calling in. Doug, Mark, I appreciate you. Doug, looking awesome as always. Hair's awesome. Sorry about that Frank guy, man. Frank, just call in right at 6 p.m. next week, man. I'm gonna get you right in, brother. Anyways, hell of a talk, guys. Good shit. These headphones are killing my ears. I need to get some new shits on these. God, solid talk, man. Oh shit, we went 3 hours. Good God. Lord help. Take one for the road. Hell of a stream.